you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode on a special live stream of the Cajun Conservative Show today. I'm your host, Isaac Hayes, waiting on Mr. Kelby Daigle. We'll be jumping on in a few minutes, and basically tonight is election coverage. It's election coverage, and we're going to be talking about everything going on in the state. We have an hour until the polls close. I love starting an hour before just to get some insight, and we have a guest on right now. We got Mr. William Wallace is going to be joining us for the first 30 minutes of the show, and we were also waiting on Mr. Kelby Daigle. Will be joining us pretty soon, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mr. William Wallace now from William Wallace in America. Also, we got Mr. Kelby Daigle back on right now, and there we go. We got my co-host Kelby Daigle. So some good-looking fellas tonight. Hi, how you
doing? Hey, I'm excited to be on your show, Isaac. I'm telling you what. Anytime I get the chance to spend some time with the Cajun Conservative and his co-host is a good day for me and a great day for Louisiana because y'all got some really good information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as we said, Kelby, you just welcome in, man. Kelby, I know Kevin Wallace is a good-looking guy. William Wallace is a good-looking guy, but I don't know. It's a hard tie between me and you. I think I'm better looking than you. I'm just saying.
You know, that's funny. My brother's name is Kevin.
I made a mistake right off the jump. So, Kelby, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm doing good, Isaac. Thank you for having me. Fun night. I can't wait to see what the results as they come in. Polls close in about an hour, so a little less than an hour. So go vote if you haven't done so already.
Excited. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, every person that's on this screen right now, we've all talked to candidates. We have interviewed candidates. Kelby, you have introduced candidates to the RPEC. Just a little bit about Kelby Daigle. He is the vice chair of the St. Martin Parish RPEC, and he's also a insider and a market. He's also the owner of Ignite Marketing. Real good guy and very political. Mr. William Wallace has a show on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and has talked to plenty of candidates as well. So we have a good knowledge of all who's running, and we have talked to a number of candidates out there.
Well, I'm excited. I tell you what, tonight I think could possibly, and I'm going to say possibly because I'm not overly optimistic, could be the comeback and the turnaround of Louisiana. Because if all the elected officials that we interviewed, and you know, Isaac, I know you've heard him say this. Kelby, I know you've heard him say this. They all talk about doing all the right things and make Louisiana come back, stop people from moving away, insurance rates go down. You know, if they really do the right thing, Louisiana could be that shining hill on the hill for the South and could surpass all the other states around us for once. That's if they do the right thing. But I'm not overly optimistic, but that's another story.
That's a big if.
Right. Exactly.
And Kelby, go ahead and give us your response on everything. You know, what William said. This could be a big night for Louisiana. What's your insight on that as well?
Yeah, it could be, but I don't think the right candidates are going to win. You know, that's kind of how it goes. I mean, the ones who would be good and would do a good job usually don't get elected. And we have a few of those running for governor. We have a few of those running in the legislature as well. So, I mean, I think a lot of people will be surprised tonight just about, you know, what's going to actually go down and who's liked and who's not so liked. But we definitely have some hot races. But we are on the verge of it's going to be new. We're going to have a new governor regardless, you know, depending on how that goes, whether it's, you know, Sean Wilson, which would be a third term of John Bel Edwards, or, you know, Jeff Landry or any other of the Republicans who, you know, who could win. So we will have some change in Baton Rouge. You'll have a super majority for the Republicans in the House. Same thing in the Senate. So if done right, William's right, this could be a new, you know, kind of a new era for the state. Mm-hmm. Will it be a good one? Will it be a not good one? Will we be disappointed? You know, I guess it's to be determined tonight. But yeah, I mean, William's 100% right on change is coming.
And you made a great point. You know, what bothers me in this is when I like bouncing off of what you said, that the ones that have worked the hardest might not be the ones that win, and they're the ones who deserve it and would be better. but to see how Jeff Landry and Sean Wilson have basically been a no-show at events. I mean, they, look, I know that a lot of my friends love, Jeff Landry, and I'm not talking down about him, but the reality is, the other guys have worked a lot harder. Jeff Landry, I know he's saving his money probably for the runoff, because he is the assumed, finalist, but neither has Sean Wilson. And so it bothers me a little bit that, they both seem overly confident that they're going to be in the runoff. What happens if, the Democrat walks in?
And then didn't you have a story in Hunter Lundy? Because I don't think Hunter Lundy will get to the runoff, but Hunter Lundy as an independent has gained steam going into this. Stephen Wagaspack, William, you talked about that. Landry and Wilson, they hardly show up to events. Stephen Wagaspack was on this show. He was at the Kelby's event the other day with the RPEC at the 2023 Bayou on the Bash.
Bash on the Basin.
Yeah, Bash on the Basin. Hey, that's a new name for it. Anyway, but we have he was there and he talked to people. He shared
who's that?
Stephen Wagaspack.
Yeah.
So they had you had candidates that went ahead. Now, did it hurt Landry and Wilson for holding their money? We possibly tonight we will see if not Sean Wilson, if Stephen Wagaspack or Hunter Lundy or somebody else pulled up to the front.
Or if John Schroeder gets up there. John Schroeder's been working the state really hard. I think John Schroeder has been one of the hardest working gubernatorial candidates since day one. And that's nothing against Sharon Hewitt or Stephen Wagaspack. I just know that he was out the gate right after Jeff Landry, and he's been working hard at all the events. And then you got Sharon Hewitt, who's got some bona fides and some good, qualities, about her. And you got Stephen Wagaspack, who's got some good things. And of course, he's got some negatives, but, I like to see candidates work for their vote. I don't, I know, like I said, again, I got lots of friends who love Jeff Landry, not say anything bad, but he doesn't appear to have worked as hard as the other guys. And I think the voters deserve, a candidate to be in their face all the time so we get a chance to get to know them.
Yeah, voters sense arrogance as well. They know who's talking to them, because everybody can know you, but you still have to campaign. Donald Trump's probably the most famous person on the planet, but he's still going to have to campaign, next year if he's not in prison. He's going to have to go ahead and campaign and work for it and spend money, just because that's part of the game. You have to be in front of voters. You have to be visible. You have to be there, and it takes money. And Jeff did rake in a lot of the money. I mean, he, froze out a lot. A lot of it was John Kennedy deciding, I'm going to run, I'm not going to run. The donors were holding out for that. Then Jeff just came in and swept it all up. Schroeder would be an excellent governor. It's, for full disclosure, that's who I voted for. I think he would be a great governor for what we need, because we're in trouble. We have people leaving thousands at a time every year. We're on the verge of losing another congressional district. I think the last one happened, 10 years ago or, 20 years ago. So we have to go ahead and fix this place. Otherwise, we're going to keep losing people to Florida. I graduated. I know somebody who graduated. And after she graduated, we educated her, and she found a job in Dallas making double what she could have made here. That's a problem. We need to retain our best. If we're going to educate them, we ought to keep them. And you have to unleash the economy. You have to get the cronyism out. It's a big John Schroeder thing, the good old boys. If you want, I said it on Isaac's show the other day, you want to really give the middle fingers. If you're all about giving the middle finger to the good old boys, then Jeff Landry's not your guy. He's got all the good old boys, surrounding him. Just look at it. Someone told me, I'm not going to tell you the name, but they said, Jeff, I give him 6 months in office, then he'll be indicted. So just because all of the corruption and all this stuff, now I don't know how true that is. I'm not following. I don't really know them too well.
Oh, I've heard stories too there, Kelby. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So, if you want to fix the state, then you have options. Wagaspack, Sharon Hewitt, Schroeder. You don't? Well, if you just think, social issues, which are very important, but if social issues is your only vote, then, well, good luck.
And you see that raises a question for the AG position as well, because you have Liz Monroe that was under Jeff Landry, and she was right on the side of him with all these social issues. And that's what a lot of people, oh, well, Jeff's running there. He endorsed Liz. So we're just going to go ahead and vote Liz because she stood up to the establishment. Look, Kelby, I agree with you. Social issues are a big problem, and we need to get that addressed. But there's a lot more roles to governor's position and the AG's position. And like us, we work with Marty Melee. We've done some stuff,
Right.
As the business side, but at the same time, Marty has a good platform and some good points. And people are like, well, yeah, Marty's good, but Jeff endorsed Liz. And you can't make a decision based on who votes on who.
Or he was never in a position to sue Biden.
So we're just gonna go ahead and vote Liz because we got some feedback somewhere. But yeah, so that's where But since we're on that topic of the attorney general, William, what do you see in that race?
It's interesting. I really like Liz Morel. I really like what what she has to say. I know that she's fought hard for our conservative values. She's fought hard against mandates. She's done all the right things. Okay. And maybe I shouldn't say it publicly, but I also like the people to get a chance to see all the candidates, because while I might have somebody that I like, I want the people to learn all the candidates, because I believe that it's our job. And Isaac, you've done a good job. Kelby, you've done a good job of getting candidates out there in front of people. I believe that when you give a good conversation to our audience, they're going to be able to follow their conscience and their heart and their mind on who they want to actually vote for. So that's our job. That being said, Marty Mealy, I'm really impressed by Marty. In all honesty, Marty's a friend of mine. Love Liz, love all the great things. I would consider her a friend too. But Marty I've seen Marty speak a couple times, and he's been on my show. And when you listen to Marty, he does something that I really have a lot of respect for, and I think highly of. He doesn't get very ideological. He doesn't say, look, we sued the government. We'd keep everything open. And even though he's mentioned that before, he says things like, look, I want to have justice for everybody in the state. I want to work with our district attorneys, to make sure that they have what they need to bring criminals to justice. I want to make sure we do the right criminal justice reform, which I've been a proponent of. The right-wing narrative that we just got to lock everybody up, I think, is wrong. We really need good criminal justice reform, because when you always lock people up and you make them, felons, they become recidivists because they become face civil death. Long story short, Marty says things like, look, I want to pray. I want to have God as my conscience. I want to pray for wisdom. I want to pray for guidance. I want to do the right thing. He says, I want to make sure I wake up and do the right thing for not only the people, but the right thing for justice. And he's and he doesn't get ideological. He's talking about raw criminal justice reform, raw fighting crime the right way. And I think there's a lot to say that, because it comes from his heart. And for that, I think he's a great candidate. I think he's got the AG position in his heart, mind, and on his conscience for the right reasons.
Kelby, let's hear your take on the AG race.
Yeah, I agree. Marty's, pretty good. I've gotten to know Marty probably a little over a year now. He was at the Bash last year when we first did it. Marty, one of those candidates, been working his tail off. I mean, Marty's everywhere. His slogan's "Run, Marty, run," which I think it's so hokey, but I mean, it's the truth.
Right.
He's all over the place, and he's working hard for it. And, not to say that any of the other candidates, I mean, Stefanski's, from Crowley. I mean, he's
right.
a pretty good dude as well. Liz, very impressive. She was at an RPEC meeting a couple months ago, and she's very impressive as well. Very smart. intellectual, very, very. She knows what she's doing, but it's all about I sued Biden. I did this and that, and in a sense, I mean, we need, that's a chief law enforcement person in Louisiana, and you've got New Orleans looking the way it looks. You can't even go enjoy a wonderful city because, well, you'll dodge bullets and potholes and everything. But you need someone to take that office back and actually focus on it and not try to level up. Who's running for governor? Who's probably going to be the governor? So
Right.
Same thing when Jindal started trying to be president. Things started slipping. Things slip when you have your focus elsewhere. Things slip. And so hopefully we can get somebody in there, whoever it is. I mean, if it's, Stefanski, Marty, Liz, who else is running? They have like a lot of people.
Stefanski.
Yeah. So, whoever it is, hopefully they put a focus back to the intention of it and, start maybe putting some pressure on these DAs in New Orleans, for example, that, don't prosecute people.
And that would be the role of a governor as well, though, to help to get the AG. Hey, look, we need to get this crime issue down, because like New Orleans, I haven't been in New Orleans in like 9 years.
Really?
Yeah,
that long?
No, well, I just don't like New Orleans. And look, it was 9 years ago. It was Jindal, and I still didn't like New Orleans. But look, great city. Look, great attractions out there. The World War II Museum, the aquarium, the zoo. Orleans is a great city, but like Kelby said, the crime in there, it's amazing how I'm trying to say it in the right way. I don't even want to go there, and I'm from there.
Most of the crime though is in the areas that you're not going to go in, when you're being a tourist. And I'm not defending the crime situation at all whatsoever. I'm just saying that most of the crime is in the areas you're not going to be hanging out, Isaac. But the reality is we still have a problem out there with crime. We got, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Shreveport, top 3 of the top 10 in the United States for crime. And, we need an AG who's not going to hang their hat on not allowing masks and, I sued Biden, and I'm not being critical at all whatsoever. Look, it's no different than Brandon Trosclair. That I love Brandon Trosclair. I think his heart's in the right place. I think he'd be a great candidate. I think our great Secretary of State. His eyes are on making sure our elections have integrity. And when you hear stories that we have 700,000 bad registrations on our voting rolls that have not been purged, that our registrar of voters and our clerk of courts have not done their job to get those registrations off, we need a Secretary of State that's going to watch that. Now, that being said, I talked to Brandon a long time ago. Look, the people need to know that you're about more than just integrity and the machines. The people need to know that you're also about, how the Secretary of State runs 7 museums, how there's other duties of the Secretary of State. And to his credit, and probably not because of my advice, it's probably just coincidental on the timing. But I heard in the last month, he talks about all the duties of the Secretary of State. We need the same thing with our Attorney General, who's not just going to say, I'm going to make sure we don't have mask mandates. Someone's going to say, I'm going to do the extra work that it takes to work with every DA to make sure crime comes down in Louisiana. So I thanks for letting me talk, guys. I appreciate it. I'm good at that.
Okay, you must be part Cajun. Kelby, go
yeah,
ahead.
exactly. There you go. That's why we get along so well, Isaac.
Kelby, what about you, man? What you think about the whole situation, as William was just saying, about candidates speaking more? Because that ain't just the AG position. That just ain't the Secretary of State position. Jeff has done that with the governor's race. We have Billy Nungesser and Albert Guillory focusing on certain areas and not the whole areas. It's all over.
Yeah, well, that's a good example. I mean, of someone who doesn't talk about the position would be Some candidates running for that, they, Senator Guillory, for example, really doesn't talk about what if you're a marketing nerd, I think you would love the lieutenant governor's office, because that's basically what it is, the chief marketing officer of the state.
Right.
And saying, oh, this is wonderful. Telling a bunch of French people, it's wonderful. Why don't you come down? In Australia, hey, it's a wonderful place. Why don't you come to Louisiana? Not a bad gig to pardon a crawfish and, do all that stuff. I mean, all ribbon cuttings. I think it's I'd be interested in running for lieutenant governor, because it's a pretty chill, gig. But, I get it. Talk about whatever you want to talk about in your campaign, but at the end of the day, you have to. If you get elected, for instance, and I always was talk to Albert about that. It's like, okay, you do know if you do get elected, you would have to go ahead and market the state, and make sure we get these, tourism dollars. You're not going to talk about. You're not going to go and, make some legislation happen to fix this. Like you're not in charge that way. You're not going to have powers like like that influence, because of what, powerful Louisiana governors for years have, diminished the office. They were even floating around just doing away with the lieutenant governor a few years ago, just because it really is, the tourism spot. So, you have to talk about the office, what it does, and why you would be, good at whatever position you're trying to get in. But we do have candidates. They're focused on other things. They're focused on attention. A lot of them. I mean, a politician, you have to be sort of narcissistic in a way, because you have this big ego. Look, I've thought about running for office before. It's an ego-driven game. And, to each their own. Everyone has their own style, and however they choose to use it. I tend to not judge, especially since being a candidate for a little while earlier this year. I've learned to not judge a little too hard, because it's an interesting experience. And running for the top offices, I don't judge them too hard these days.
I'm gonna say this though, and William, you're a witness right here. We might get a because Kelby, you're big into marketing. He just said marketing. We might see a Kelby Daigle lieutenant governor's ad in a couple of years. I'm just saying.
Oh, really? Okay, just yeah. Hey, look, the lieutenant governor's got to be the coolest job in the state. You get, you don't have the power of the governor, but you've got as much stroke as the governor. You don't get all the things passed that he gets passed. But, I mean, look, you get to go to parks all the time. You get to market Louisiana. You get to travel. You're eating great food every day. I mean, look, Kelby, you might have to do a diet program, because you'll gain a lot of weight having that position. But, you get to give away Louisiana seafood. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's a great job.
Hey, whatever Billy's doing, because he looks a lot different than how he walked into that office. So, hey, whatever Billy's doing, it's a good plan. I mean, Jay Darden was this big the whole time he was lieutenant governor. So I don't know. Are they eating the food or not? That's the real question.
So what about like positions like treasurer, and that we have, coming up? That's another good one.
Yeah, I voted for, I guess you could say, I voted for Scott McKnight. John Fleming, nothing against him, just kind of associated himself with some sketchy people that around the Lafayette area. They're big for him. So usually when they're big for somebody, I go the other way. But, and I think Schroeder also endorsed Scott McKnight. I think Fleming will ultimately, edge McKnight for the runoff with Dustin Ranger, who's a total leftist. I mean,
yes,
green energy kind of guy. So pretty important. Hopefully the whoever, John Schroeder took the, when Kennedy was what's it called, the money, the unclaimed property.
Right.
That's a big important thing, for people to go ahead and reclaim their money. which I didn't even know about that. And Schroeder took the campaign and really went hard with, educating people like, hey, we have tons of money. It could be yours. Come get it. So hopefully they run with that and expand that and give everybody's money back.
Well, not only that, but keep ESG and digital currency and that social credit scoring out of Louisiana's out of Louisiana, and I think that's one of the biggest things. And I know Scott McKnight had his eyes on that too, as does Fleming. But I know that Scott McKnight was early out of the gate talking about it, on that. So. And going for that. We got a lot of reps that are going up for Senate though too. What's happening with that?
Yeah, we have a lot. Just right off the cuff, Alan Seaball, Blake Miguez, Kelby. I think Rick Edmonds. They have a lot of people moving over from the Senate side, from the rep side to the Senate side, which I believe is going to make the Senate more stronger than ever before.
Right. I agree with you because a lot of those senators were kind of weak-minded. I'm not saying all of them, but there's a few that didn't shake things up. We'll say, let me word it that way. Not weak-minded, but they didn't shake things up. And when you got personalities like the conservative-mindedness of Alan Seaball, and you got that firebrand Blake Miguez, going in there, and you've got the passion and the God first mentality of Rick Edmonds, who's a pastor, going in there. I mean, golly, they're going to shake some things up, if they get in.
An interesting Senate District 19, Valerie Hodges and Buddy Mincy. They're two reps vying for that Senate seat. That one's gotten pretty nasty. Valerie Hodges, you're more right, conservative in the House. More aligned, kind of like Blake. Buddy Mincy, they're calling him a rhino. I mean, I've seen some of his stuff. He's been really on the defense about being a moderate or a rhino, whatever. But he's got some pretty good scorecards and kind of counter messaging. Valerie Hodges. So that's also another one. Stuart Cathy's having to fight off Ned White up north in District 33. That's going to be an interesting one. The one I really want, and I don't know if William, you probably remember her, but the great Barbara Norton.
Oh wow, that's an old one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's running for the Senate in Shreveport, and in 39. So who's
she running against?
Glover. Yeah, so it's Glover, Sam Jenkins, and some other Republican who won't have a chance in hell, but two state reps and one former state rep running, and I hope Barbara Norton wins.
You hope she beats Sam Jenkins?
I hope she beats Sam and Kedrick. She is so entertaining. She's so entertaining, Barbara. She's well, y'all probably don't remember, but her godchild is Hurricane Chris. And he was kind of famous in the early 2000s. And he wrote a song called Halle Berry, and about Halle Berry, the actress. And he actually sang that on the House floor at the podium.
So Isaac, I don't know about you if you're hearing this or not, but I keep hearing Kelby called me old.
Hey, wait, hold on, William. Same thing. He's the youngest guy in the chat right now. So
he keeps saying, if I would probably remember, I'd probably remember this. But
I would also forget Isaac was sheltered growing up, so he won't remember anybody because So William, do you remember Hurricane Chris?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But that might not be an age thing. That might just be I wasn't just paying attention to that.
Yeah, well, he had a few. I think maybe he had a few hits, or it might have been a one-hit wonder. But Barbara, she's very, because when you ask a question, they end up not asking a question on the House floor. So she'll always she'll say a statement, and then she'll be like, "Did you know?" And then she'll say, "Did you know?" 500 times, and she's just.
Do you know why they do that? Kelby, do you know why they do that? Do you know why they do that, Kelby? What's that?
They were supposed to ask a question. It's supposed to be a question.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a question. So they try to get in. They want to get information out, but they got to form it in a question, kind of like Jeopardy, so that way they don't get stopped. On that. But I want to share something funny with you guys that I've done on my interviews, and maybe I don't know if y'all ever noticed or not, but I always ask the reps if they would favor a bill that made the reps have to update their pictures on the legislative site. And maybe with some of these new guys coming in and new girls coming in, they're going to have to do updated pictures. I don't know about you, but there's been plenty of times when I've looked at somebody's picture on the site, the legis.la.gov site, and I see them on the floor and I go, man, oh man, they look really young in some of their these Louisiana picture sites. And I look at them in person, I go, is that your nephew or your grandchild or whoever took that picture for you, kind of thing? What do y'all say about that?
It's catfish.
They're just trying to stay young. So before we go into any more conversations, I'm seeing we have a lot of comments in the chat right here. Please be respectful. We don't want no name calling or anything, but I also want to give a shout out to Overcomers Youth Ministry. A lot of the youth is in the chat right now, and they're telling me, hey, so I want to go ahead and give them a shout out, and also to the Pickin' Preacher, a good friend of mine out of Mississippi. Can't reply everything that he's putting on there, but guess what? Thank you, the Pickin' Preacher, for watching the show. And with that being said, everybody that's watching, if you have a comment, you have a question, put it on the site that you're listening on. We'll be able to see it on here, and we'll be able to answer some questions if we have anything. William, you good for a little longer, or I gotta go a few more minutes. I go for a few. I'll be happy to go for a few minutes. I have 5-10 minutes.
We're 28 minutes until the polls close, by the way.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So let's talk about how people can find results around the state. Let's say somebody that's in Jefferson Parish wants to know about an election result in Lafayette Parish or in Shreveport. Do you all have some sites that we can give out for people to be able to find out results statewide?
So we're going to be using tonight the Louisiana Secretary of State's website, as you can see.
Yes.
You also got it on your end as well. This is, I believe this is this is the statewide elections, and we can also go into parishes. So if you have a question on a parish, if you want to talk about New Orleans Parish or whatever, we can go ahead and do that. Kelby, I know you're gonna go ahead and share your screen in a little while. You're gonna be controlling that on your end as well. But yeah, so it's Louisiana Secretary of State website, your local news station. I know Kelby and I were looking earlier. We looked up WWL4. We looked up channel 9 in New Orleans, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Locally here, we got KLFY, KATC3, Fox 15. So that's what we're going to be using tonight, and that will be the overall. But the Secretary of State, William, is probably going to be the better option for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, and look, we have because I've seen other election results in other states. We are by far the most easy to use, easy to navigate. That system is pretty. The website's pretty good, and it's live in real time, and it updates every minute and 30 seconds, I believe, with fresh information. So, yeah, I definitely recommend. I think it's voterportal.sos.la.gov, straight from the source. So once the local registrars start reporting in, they'll update the website, and we'll get all the good stuff. I'm ready for some results.
Me too.
I'll have my iPad with me.
So we got a question. We have a question, guys, and I'm going to show it on the screen so everyone can see. This question was brought in from YouTube. It says, am I allowed to be here even though I'm not from Louisiana? Absolutely. You can be here. You can have fun with us. And the whole Middle East news right now ignores the Louisiana race. That is true. There is a lot going on in the Middle East with Israel. We covered that topic on the last show where I went ahead and asked people why you think I'm mad, and it was just all kind of stuff. Video on TikTok. Go ahead and check out the TikTok page. But even that, though, if you're from Louisiana, you should be watching this election. you should be watching, because we either can have another 4 years of John Bell Edwards or worse, because I believe Sean Wilson, he's far more left than John Bell ever was. But also, we have a chance here in Louisiana to have a supermajority Republican House, Senate, and even a good governor as a Republican. So if you're from Louisiana, I know the Middle East is covering a lot of news, but hey, watch the Cajun Conservative Show and you get all the information for Louisiana.
Can I make a statement on that?
Yes, go ahead.
You know, I've always, whenever I do an interview that's with a Louisiana candidate or a Louisiana a public official, I always tell my national listeners, I'm like, look, this might be in Louisiana, but everybody around the country needs to watch what's going on in each other's states for multiple reasons. You know, one, you know, this might be coming to a state near you. What the problems that we have in Louisiana might be coming to a state near you. Likewise, you all might, another state, another reason why we should be watching other states is they might have a solution to a problem that we need to talk about. So, you know, we need to, even though it's not local to us or local to them, we should all be paying attention to what's going on in each other's states, because the 10th Amendment is really what saves our country. You know, right now, the 10th Amendment veil is one of the last lines of defense to keep our states prosperous while our federal government runs itself in debt, runs itself amok, and, and does all the things that it's doing to our country. The 10th Amendment is what protects us. So that's why we need to know what's going on in each other's states, because the federal government is constantly trying to pierce that 10th Amendment veil with federal money. That's how they do it with the Department of Education. They want the individual states to teach their agendas, and they do that by saying, hey, look, you have to teach teach this narrative or teach this curriculum because we're going to give you this money. So this is the other reason why it's important for people in other states to pay attention to what's going on here, and vice versa.
Yeah, but you have a reply?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're 50 states of all similarity. We're all similar in some point. I mean, some are crazier than others, but especially in the South, we're all kind of similar. We all usually have the same problems. So yeah, definitely, it matters regardless, because you're right. It could be coming to a town near you, or you could be just genuinely curious as to what's happening with your neighbors. So yeah, I definitely agree. Everyone should be interested in whatever's happening. And, we have some issues here. Maybe y'all can learn a thing or two to avoid those, corrupt politicians or, trial lawyers, whatever you pick, whatever you want, where it's a buffet of 50 and 48 and 49 in all the rankings. So, hopefully you can see that and say, oh, well, we don't want to be like that. I think we're even worse than Mississippi now. So, when
the packing preacher's going to get on you, man.
I'm gonna be daring and make an analogy.
It's a compliment to Mississippi, because they used to be last and we used to be like right over them. And then now I think we're dead last too. So it's a compliment.
That I think trial lawyers becomes the narrative, just like for insurance and for one of Louisiana's problems, just like they use the mask, as a narrative for COVID and shutdowns, and it's not that we don't have a problem with trial attorneys, but I think they really exaggerate it more than what needs to happen. I mean, honestly, if our elected officials worked on ways to bring more insurance companies in here, and they can make laws that circumvent what the trial attorneys are doing, and they can do things that make it more appealing for more insurance companies that come into our state. A trial attorney is just one example of many things that they could be doing, but I find it becomes a crutch of many politicians to say that's why we have bad insurance laws, or why bad insurance rates, when the reality is they need to work on all the areas too. So I'm not one that just lets them have that excuse all the time. It's one piece of the pie.
And unfortunately, it's a big piece of the pie.
Right.
So before William, I don't know, like I said, how long, whenever you need to go.
Oh, yeah, couple more minutes.
I want to talk about the amendments we're going on because we've been talking for 40 minutes now. 20 minutes to the polls close, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not if you haven't went vote, go vote. Please go vote. But before we I want to talk about the amendments. We have 4 amendments that are on the ballot. The first one is really the big one that a lot of people was worried about. That is giving Christian faith or any church or any religion for that matter not to close through a national emergency like we had in 2019 or
Right.
2020. So we'll start with Kelby on this one. Kelby, what you think about the amendments? Was you think that was the big one, or you think they had other ones that were pretty big as well?
That's amendment number 2, actually.
That's amendment number 2. Okay, I thought it was number 1.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've not really been watching the amendments. I'm on my way out of politics, so I'm detoxing from politics. Honestly, look, I'm for fairness, and if something's got to close, something's got to close. I don't want anybody to have, any superiority over something. I don't, whether you're a church or whether you're a grocery store. I don't know if I think we could be getting into some interesting territory there. Hopefully, we don't even have any emergency like that again. That's all I'm for. So I don't really know. I'm not really too familiar with it. I probably should have did a little more homework, but I don't know if we should start. Oh, this one's more important because of this reason. I don't know if we should be going down that road. To be honest with you,
I'll make it simple. The leftists and the leftists are always screaming separation of church and state, separation of church and state, separation of church and state. Well, here's an amendment that says, okay, guess what? We're going to separate church and state. If you're a church, you're not going to have to listen to the state if they want you to shut down. You're officially separated. That's what the left wants. So, what about number 1 there, Isaac?
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. We did have a question come in about number 1. It says Amendment 1 was the big one, allowing foreigners entitles to be involved with the election. That is a pretty big one as well, guys. It was allowing illegal immigrants to try to get into our election cycles. That is a big problem, but it's just not now. It's been a long time. So.
Well, the reality is it's called the Zuckerbuck bill. It would prohibit the use of a company like Facebook to be allowed to put in millions of dollars into campaigns, like they did in the last presidential election. But we can stop them because of our 10th Amendment rights here in Louisiana from putting money in. Also, it prohibits foreign entities from being able to have influence over our elections, which I think needs to happen, prohibition of, because, like last session, they tried to pass a bill that would not allow people that were from an adversarial country buy land in Louisiana. And we saw hundreds of Chinese and Japanese people show up at the Capitol, and the bill passed to prohibit them, but the governor vetoed it. So this amendment would basically stop all of that from happening. So I'm for those first 2. I'm all for.
How about you, Kelby?
Yeah, I think we just have to be very careful since 2016 in Russia and any interference that happened or didn't happen. And, our elections are very sacred, and we have to make sure, whether it's the integrity aspect of it or, just making sure that, you have the right to do whatever you want. We don't strip rights away and all that stuff, but certainly we have to make sure that there is no foreign, influence or actions being taken place. So I agree. I voted yes for the amendment.
After these next 2 amendments, I'm going to have to leave. Do you want to go over 3 and 4?
So I voted no on them. I haven't done that much research on them, but a brief study. I was like, I think, because my knowledge of amendments is look, if you don't understand it, you should maybe vote no on it.
So are you ready to kick yourself in the butt?
Yeah, go ahead. Kelby does
I'm giving you a hard time. You know that. Come on, Isaac. I love you, man. You all are amazing. I'm joking around with you, but I did vote yes on them, and I'll tell you why. Number 3 is the one that supports a minimum of 25% of money designated as non-recurring state revenue to be applied towards the balance of the unfunded accrued liability of the state retirement system. Where that's coming from is our state constitution requires us to have a balanced budget. But where politicians get around that is where they're allowed especially our retirement funds are allowed to borrow money and go into debt to be able to fund their retirement programs. Hence the reason why the state has so much debt that it hasn't paid off. What this constitutional amendment does is it forces part 25% of the extra money to always go towards paying down the debt, which the politicians can't do. Their hands are tied. So this amendment circumvents that process and automatically pays down some of our debt, where the politicians can't do it themselves. So I think it's a good thing for Louisiana, because when they redid our Constitution back in the 70s, they didn't make an arrangement for that. They just figured if you had a balanced budget, there would never be any debt. Well, generations after that figured out what the loophole to put us back in debt. Number 4 is, do you support an amendment to deny a property tax exemption to a nonprofit corporation association that owns residential property in such a state disrepair? So what this one is about is it came out of New Orleans. It was filed by a representative in New Orleans East. And what happened is there's a lot of charitable organizations and churches that are nonprofit, so they don't pay taxes. They own properties that they rent out. So they're not paying property tax. They're not paying sales tax. They're not paying any kind of tax. They're exempt. But they're allowing their properties to go into such disrepair. People, their tenants are living in squalor. There's leaky roofs. There's broken windows. And what is happening is they're still getting the benefits of not having to pay taxes. What this amendment does is it says, hey, look, if you're getting tax-free exemptions from the state and your local government, you should or you shall keep your properties up, or if you don't, you won't get the exemption. It benefits the people, the tenants that live there, the poor people.
Good point. Man.
I voted yes on everything because for the first time in a while, there was actually some decent amendments. So
yeah. Well, guys, I got to run because it's 10-8, and I'm going to go to a couple events here in the New Orleans area. I can't tell you what an honor it's been to be on your show, Isaac, Kelby, and I just appreciate how hard you guys are working, and I appreciate that what's in your heart and mind and conscience guides you all to providing good content for people that they know that they can rely on as being somebody that cares about our country, our state, and themselves.
We appreciate you, William, and thank you for coming on, man. We will do it again soon.
I hope so, man. Looking forward to it. I'll talk to you soon, Isaac. I'll talk to you soon, Kelby.
Have a good one.
Y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.
So Kelby, before
reading him, that was the first time I'd ever even heard of him. You have to send me a show.
Yeah, I'll send you his links to his Facebook page and all that good stuff. So before we go any further, Kelby, I know you have it on. I have it on right here. But there's some people that still like to watch LSU football. And I hope they have us on their iPad. But LSU is winning big right now, man. Yep. And I hope that's a sign for Republicans. So and look,
So if you're not in front of the game, it's 20-7, LSU 20 at halftime.
At the half. Also, another reminder, because we have some people watching, we did have to kick somebody off of the comment.
Yeah, that dude got it. He had to go. I was reading because I don't really like seeing that, but I don't really like reading the comments. But I was like, white supremacy. No,
yeah, he was. And look, we here to answer Louisiana questions as well. We will, if you ask a political question and we have time, we will do it. But please be respectful. Please, respect one another. Now we do have the Rumble chat as well. Unfortunately, that is not on the platform we're looking on, but that we have right now. But I do have it on my phone. So if you want to comment on Rumble, unfortunately we can't show it on the screen. But guess what? We'll go ahead and read that comment off. And
So
thank you.
I believe in,
everybody.
Isaac, real quick. I believe in freedom of the speech, but I'm not the government.
Me too.
So you don't have to. I'm not the government, and I'm not going to be around vicious comments like that because it's not true. I mean, you don't know me.
We don't believe in censorship either. If you look at my TikTok, I don't usually delete or remove anybody, Facebook, YouTube, any of that. But when you start attacking us personally and you don't know us, that becomes a problem to me. And that's one reason that like one liberal I love talking to, and I don't agree with him at all, but the liberal trucker, great guy. He goes ahead and he if you have a conversation with him, he'll let you talk, and you let him talk, and you have good conversations. But you can disagree without attacking people, personally. Me and Kelby do it all the time. So we're the Cajun version.
I mean, the good thing is we agree on a lot of stuff, so that kind of helps out. But people, look, say what you want to say. I don't care, but I don't like to be. I don't like that kind of stuff. So we're 9 minutes. Polls are gonna close in 9 minutes. It's gonna be interesting. Race for governor. We've got 50 people running for governor. We've got a lot of people running for other stuff.
I want to ask you a question. How many people you think are going to vote for Richard Nelson?
A lot of people.
Hey, look, this is what this show's about. It's about informing people and stuff like that. But you need to be informed because Richard Nelson did step down. Now, Kelby, I got a question to ask you. He's a
weasel. He's a weasel.
Now, I want to say this though. I would laugh.
Didn't I say I was gonna be nice? I'm sorry. Take it back.
So I'm gonna laugh if Richard Nelson comes out on top after they, hey, I endorse Jeff. I'm not running. I just so happened after qualifying, but could you imagine him coming out on top and winning this thing?
Yeah, it would be funny. It'd be funny. It's gonna be funny when a lot of people lose tonight who thought they were gonna do a lot better than they. I don't understand what it is for these candidates. I really don't. Like, you're leaving a good position to go to a position you will not win. What? I never understood that.
And so look, I know some people they want to be that person that breaks the mold. But like people that are running in Republican and Democrat areas, look, God bless you, do it. Baton Rouge areas, God bless you, do it.
Yeah, it's also the ones like the biggest scam artists that run against Nancy Pelosi, for example. And everybody tells you don't give this wacko any money because, well, who's beating Nancy Pelosi? Then they become a Fox News contributor as soon as they're done. That's the whole point.
Well, Larry's not in the comments no more, so he's been asking about our TV personalities who we like to watch. Which
you know what, Larry, which I know you're not here anymore, and I'm very happy about that. You know what? Let me tell you something. All of this, it's not because I get it from
because of Fox News.
Let me tell you something. Fox News is so. Which is crazy. He's calling me white supremacist, but I'm probably the most normal Republican ever. Not normal Republican. You know what I mean? Understanding, right? I am very understanding with other people's opinions because to me, it's not that deep. I don't really care. You have your opinions. I have mine. Who cares? So I don't even watch Fox News anymore because Waters is annoying. Hannity is a rerun basically every time. He talks about the same thing. Laura Ingraham is a moron. Her brain is the size of this pencil top right here.
You said you was going to be nice, Kelby.
Excuse me. What else? Who else is in prime time? Where's Bill O'Reilly? Where's Megyn Kelly? Those were the days of Fox News. I don't watch Fox News prime time anymore. After Bread Bear, after Special Report, I don't watch TV anymore. Now, that's a good thing, right? Because you don't need to watch TV past. If you're going to watch it in the background while you're working, or if you're going to hear it in the background all day, you don't need to watch it past Special Report, I promise you.
Well, and look, don't get me wrong. Look, I like Waters and all them people. Tucker was good and all. But this is where I come to the point, like look, like me and Kelby,
Tucker Carlson. Oh my gosh.
So let's go with this right here though. And you know me. I told you I read a lot. I rather read Fox News articles and Daily Wire. And look, I'm gonna shock some conservatives like Politico, CNN. I like reading articles. I like reading articles that go ahead and that gets more into detail instead of watching Fox News. Because it just I don't know. I just they give their opinion, but we have to form our own opinion. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, and look, there's some good news out there. News Nation is pretty interesting. What's his name? Chris Cuomo. He'll bring out Bill O'Reilly. He'll bring out some of the other side, and let the other side. They'll be like the other, Democrat, Republican, going at it. Having a discussion. You can't find that on Fox News anymore. You can't find it because they have to compete with the crazies on Newsmax, where it's 100% one way, one thought. There's no objectiveness on Newsmax. I mean, you'll find it on Fox, and that's why conservatives, don't like Fox, because they'll put two sides of there. It's not all about feelings. The Republicans have adopted feelings. It's all about feelings now. Just like the Democrats, it was all about feelings. You hurt my feelings. You called me a man, but I'm really a woman. You called me a woman, but I'm really a man. That kind of stuff. Now I'm going to get in real. I better stop because I'll really get in trouble with that one. But just the feelings. Everybody's up in arms about feelings, which is why they love Jeff, which is why they love Liz, because they're in their territory. They're in their their tribes, and all they're doing is making them feel good, telling them what they want to hear. Borderline cult.
So hold your thought right there, Kelby. We got somebody in the chat. He is the state rep elect.
Oh, hey,
46.
Oh,
hold
on.
And we know this is live, ladies and gentlemen. This is not rehearsed any way, shape, or form. But that's Mr. Chad Boyer, state rep elect for District 46, one of a handful of people that did not have an opponent in the race. Chad, what's happening, man? What's going on?
A house full of people watching the LSU game and just patiently waiting for the polls to close and see what, see who my new colleagues are going to be and everything else,
And look, with them polls are closing in 3 minutes. And we got the state rep. We got the the Secretary of State's website ready to go. When them poll numbers start coming in, we will start throwing them up and discussing certain races. So Chad,
did you sleep? Did you sleep last night?
I did. I slept very, very well compared to what I thought I was going to be doing. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So Chad,
what's up? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Isaac.
Well, you can go ahead.
Yeah. So what are you won basically unopposed. You did win unopposed. What's your first kind of things you plan on doing in Baton Rouge? Any bill ideas? Any you'll be new, so what's the plans?
We do. One of our biggest things, and we had a conference call 2 weeks ago with Insurance Commissioner-elect Tim Temple. So we'll be going in, and a couple of the bills that I've already had people reach out to me about are going to be some insurance bills. Also, another group has already reached out to me about a bill and kind of dealing with wildlife and fisheries. So we've already getting some really good ideas. I've been having several meetings with the current state rep, Mr. Mike Huvile, about a whole bunch of road projects that are coming up for District 46 that we're going to continue with and secure funding for our next session. So we've had a whole bunch of things that are going on already, and we're going to continue to do that until January 8th, and try to get as much stuff as we can. So once we do walk through the door, you hit the ground running.
Now, Chad, you have a lot of elections tonight. Like I said, you're one of a few that ran other polls for the state rep position. You are a freshman rep. You're going to be replacing, as you said, Mike Huvile. Besides what's your hopes for tonight? That as for elected officials, I know you want people to say mindset, but Do you see anything that would maybe throw a wrench in your plans?
It would really be a shock to me if you don't continue on the trend that you see. I think of course, things happen, but I think you're going to have a Republican governor. You're going to have a supermajority in the House, a supermajority in the Senate, which, of course, with the new administration coming in, is going to really help you out. So I would be shocked tonight if you see a few things that are going to surprise you. But at the end of the day, I truly believe January 8th, you walking in, you take an oath of office with a Republican governor and a supermajority in the House and the Senate. So.
But that being said, Chad, it is 8 o'clock. Polls are now closed in the state of Louisiana. We should be getting some numbers in pretty soon. But polls are now closed. Remember, though, if you're in line, you can go and still vote. Don't go ahead and leave because it's 8 o'clock. They gotta finish letting you vote. But if you're pulling into the driveway, it's 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, you will not be able to vote at 8 o'clock.
And I'll tell you this: I've reached out to a couple of circuit courts today, and I was very disappointed this afternoon on the percentages of the turnouts they were given. Look, this is crucial to our state. This is crucial to our future, and to have the turnout that they're talking about is very, very disappointing. So
that's sad. It's sad. Kelby, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, so I don't know what you can or cannot disclose, but how is the speaker's race? I know that's about to get a lot more interesting because you'll have some decisions, and so what can you tell us about that?
From the looks of everything and the guys that I've met with, there's going to be several candidates for the speaker's race. And I'll be honest with you, every single rep that I have met with that has, basically declared that they're going to make a run for it, they're all good candidates across the board. And the pledge that Mike Johnson set out, I signed the pledge that the Republican delegation needs to stick together and elect whoever we select. And that way you don't have someone reaching over like they did 4 years ago. So we're really in a good spot. We have a lot of good candidates, and I know there'll be more. There's talk right now that you could have 8 or 9 declare that they're going to run for speaker. And honestly, so far, the 5 or 6 that I've met with that are saying they're going to run, they all really good choices. It's going to be all, at the end of the day, it's going to be out of the 72 of us or possibly 73 in the House of Republicans. It's going to be about who's going to get the most votes. And we just need to stick together and make sure that that person gets in.
And that would be the problem, Chad, is that, because like last time they had a guy in there, but you had some in the Republican Party, like you said, went to talk to the other side, and now we're in a mess for the last 4 years.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's why Mike Johnson has set up that, pledge to sign. And I don't know how many have signed it. The majority of reps that I have spoken to in the Republican delegation have signed it. And I hope that continues. After tonight, you're going to have some more new guys coming in, and hopefully they will sign it also. And look, you definitely don't want to go through what you went through 4 years ago.
No, we don't want that. And so you'd say you talked to Mike about some road projects, and Chad, you have a big order to go and fill because we're 50 at everything bad. We're 50 at everything good and first at everything bad. And that needs to get fixed. And that's, Mike was a good guy, but you're more conservative than Mike. So what is your goals to start turning this thing around?
Well, I think, it all starts with the new administration, of course. But, Mike was in a spot you had that particular administration to deal with. And there's, that puts you in my opinion, at a disadvantage. But coming in now with everybody being like-minded, from your administration to your speaker to your Senate president, all being conservatives. Look, I can tell you right now, looking at the budget, it keeps me up at night. I think 2 years from now, you're looking at about an $800 million deficit. But there's going to be some times where you're going to have to make some cuts, and they're not going to be popular. But I always say sometimes you have to feel the pain before you look at the glory. So we're going to probably have to feel a little bit of pain going in at first to undo some things that happened and try to fix it from there. But I can tell you this, everywhere you go, of course, people are complaining about insurance. We got to do something about the insurance costs across the board, and crime is another big topic that we got to get fixed. But those two things, we've already discussed. We're probably going to have a special session on both of those subjects, so we'll see. But that's a start, and we got a lot of work to do, and there are going to be some times where we're going to have to make some cuts that people are not going to find popular. But if we don't, we're not going to get on the right track. So that's going to be part of the plan.
Kelby, before you answer your question, we got some results in. The early results are in right now, and as we can see, Jeff Landry has 25,000 votes already. He is leading in a big way right now. Billy Nungesser, no surprise at that. He is leading at the moment. Mike Francis at the early turnout got 26. Liz got 46 on the AG's race. Treasury, no surprise, Fleming. So we don't really have that many surprises on the statewide elections right now.
Yeah, it seems like the bulk is from Acadia, Plaquemines, and West Carroll Parish. Yeah, so Chad, you're open-minded to work with any governor. Is there any particular? Polls are closed. It don't really matter at this point.
Yeah, look,
any governor in particular you'd like to work with?
Yeah, I've always said, look, it doesn't really matter for me, as far as I thought we had some really good Republican candidates, whoever it's going to be. But I'll tell you this, and, I had a conversation with Jeff about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think it'd be a huge advantage for me as a rep in District 46 when you have a governor from your home parish. So we'll see if that holds true. I know Jeff's the front runner right now, and we'll just kind of see what happens. And whoever it is, I can tell you this, the candidates on the Republican side are all strong, and I think they would make great governors. We'll see how the night goes and see if there's a runoff or what's going to happen.
With that being said, if you have a question, please put it into the comment section, and we will go ahead and ask Chad on air. We'll put it in front of the screen so he can see. Yeah, Chad, do you see any possibility? And I doubt it happens. The numbers are not showing that right now. Do you possibly see a two Republican runoff?
I do not. I just, look, John Schroeder's a really good candidate. Sharon Hewitt's she was a really good senator. I thought she was a good candidate. Wagaspack also had some really, really good ideas. I just think that Jeff from the beginning came out so strong, not only with the fundraising, but also the endorsements. I truly believe it'll be a runoff between Jeff and the Democrat.
I'm having some issues with the Secretary of State's website. So
it's still very early, very, very early. Those numbers
probably because everybody's on it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to find out who's going to win. So Kelby, you got any more questions, my friend?
Nope. I think everyone was smart not to run against Chad.
I forgot y'all were opponents for a while. I forgot about that.
Don't remind me. Hey. But no, Chad from the very beginning was, they tried hard. They tried hard, and when I talked to you at Myron's, when I left there, I said, what the heck? Why they hate this guy so much? I can't understand. And I think we hit the lottery with Chad Boyer. I say Boyer. I don't know. You said Boyer at the beginning. What is it? I've always known Boyer.
In St. Martin Parish, it's Boyer, and everywhere else, it's Boyer. In Baton Rouge, it's Boyer until I come home in St. Martin Parish,
Yeah, okay. So, look, Boyer is whatever. But, no, I think we did very well. And, there were 3 people got out of it and smart enough for them to do it. And I think you're going to be great. You're already hitting the ground running, and really be a people, help the people out. I think, that's you're very good, got good character, and I'm happy that you don't tonight you get to relax and watch LSU. They're back playing and enjoy.
Well, listen, guys, let's do lunch together real soon, all of us. And like always, if you need anything, please give me a call. But let's do lunch soon. I'd like to pick y'all brains on a couple of topics.
That sounds good. Kelby, where you want to go, man? He's on, and he's on live. So watching it. We can try to. Hey, Hey, we can try to get to a good place. I'm messing with you, Chad.
Hey, I'm telling you, wherever y'all want. But seriously, let's get together soon, y'all.
Kelby, get in the
All right.
private chat. Let's go. Come on.
Sounds good, Chad. And again, congratulations and best of luck. And I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Thank y'all so much, guys. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Chad.
You too.
All right, bye.
That was Mr. Chad Boyer, whatever. Boyer. see, this is what I like about live streaming. It's kind of like this a regular podcast. But it's on the fly. So I'm trying to get the website back up for the Secretary of State, and it looked like everybody's on it right now. So we're gonna have to find out what's going on with that.
Yeah, so Jeff's now at early voting. Early 35 of the 64 parishes have reported in. One precinct of almost 4,000 precincts have reported. So very early numbers. Currently, Attorney General Jeff Landry's at 85,972, so about 54%. That's primarily early voting. Schroeder's at 6%. Sean Wilson's at 24%. And Hunter Lundy's at 4%. So those are kind of the guys that we're going to have to watch. We have to really watch Lundy. We're going to have to watch what he pulls from Jeff and what he pulls from the Republicans, but also what he pulls from Sean. That's going to also be an interesting characteristic as well. And so these very early numbers. Honestly, as a political consultant, these numbers are so new that it's hard to kind of even care about them in a sense. And we can see, let's just start looking, see who's reporting. Let's see if any have reported in St. Martin Parish. So we do have some early results.
What website you looking at?
We have early voting in St. Martin. If you want me to share.
Yeah. Let's go ahead because I'm having issues with the site on this end, so we can go ahead and do that.
So I'll share my screen.
Yeah, I would like to look at them too.
Can we see?
Yeah, I could add. There we go. I got it on there now.
Let me make it bigger.
But it's like the website for some reason on my end.
It might be internet. So in St. Martin Parish, obviously Jeff's going to come in strong. That is surprising. That's only 4,000. Pretty interesting. Second to come in, second place, I guess you could say, in St. Martin Parish would be Sean Wilson, Hunter Lundy, 130. Let's see, Hewitt's got 47 votes. Schroeder, I'm one of 55.
One of 55 right now.
Interesting. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of our parish races that are kind of, a little more interesting. We won't look at it in the Senate because that's, Laura Blanchard really strong in early voting. That's very surprising. She's probably going to win it tonight. If I had to take any guess, that is insane. Laura.
Look at the parish race though in St. Martin Parish though. The parish president, Pete.
Yeah, that too.
But it's still
Pete,
close, man.
Well, that is crazy. Okay, wow, Pete. That's interesting. So Pete's got about well over 500 more. Wow, that is surprising right now. Wow. Okay, I'm shocked.
But we knew that race.
No, that is crazy.
Then you got to look at that race though. This is the inside of that. Look, we're probably gonna pull up Lafayette Parish later on to see Josh Guillory and the other candidates that are running out there. You got to remember the next parish president got to continue on what Chester Cedar was doing with that legal fight of the marshlands and stuff like that. So
small banks.
Yeah, the small banks, but that legal fight is still going to go on for a little while, way after Chester's out there. But that right there, but we knew Pete and we knew Dean were two strong candidates.
Yeah,
and
I didn't think Pete was 2,500 strong. If I'm just being completely honest, I didn't think Pete was 2,500 strong. Okay, that is interesting. Let's take a look.
You got Kevin in the mix.
I'm interested to see. So early voting, Council in District 8, Ben Clay on top, Blaine Frazier on 203, and then Daniel Richard. That's a pretty close race. That's going to be interesting as well. Hello, that is. I'm lost for words on the parish president one.
Parish president. You gonna look up Lafayette Parish now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick look at Lafayette Parish. Let's just see how the
That's
governor's race is not surprising. Jeff Landry, again coming out on top there.
But you still, I think you're still in St. Martin Parish right there.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Yeah, you in St. Martin Parish. I was like saying, wait, what was going on with that?
Okay.
Let's check this out right there.
So 57% Jeff Landry in Lafayette Parish, early voting. Let's just take a quick peek at the mayor president's race. Monique Blanco, wow. She did pretty good in early voting. Josh Strong second, and Jan Swift third. Tell you what, if Jan Swift wasn't being the race, I think she'd beat Josh that night.
You think?
I think so. I really do think so. Very strong. You don't. How are you an incumbent losing early voting?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Josh? And I know Josh very well. What is your campaign doing that you're losing early voting?
That is a big statement too. But you know,
look at this one. So you got Walter Campbell, which is the right wing pick,
okay.
And Justin Santani just absolutely mopped the floor with him on early voting. So if early voting is a good sign, a good indicator, if you want to say, about what's going to happen on election night, because you got to look at it. If your early voting get out the vote was horrible, then your election day get out the vote was probably just as horrible too. So screwed.
Yeah, it's a big. That is a big one right there, man. Let's
take a peek though. I know you were interested in Senate 22. Very strong in the three parishes: Lafayette, Iberian, St. Martin. Very strong with Blake, 7,159 in early voting, 2,700.
That is a
Hugh. If there's all big talk right there as far as Hugh Andre goes, and that support. I don't know why Blake even stooped down to the level he did, because I never felt it was necessary. But hey, I digress. Because it really was an ugly race, but 59% so far. Now we'll see how election day goes, and again, we'll see. We still need 94 precincts to report. You want to take a quick? Well, I doubt they are in yet.
What's that?
Your friend.
My friend. Oh, Secretary of State.
No, let's go House District 65.
Which one that is?
Jamie Pope.
Oh, Jamie Pope. Okay.
Jamie Pope's district. Yeah, that's no surprise.
Yeah, there's no surprise on that.
Let's go back to the statewide real quick. Let me just hit refresh. It's got 35 seconds. Just hit refresh. So the early voting's coming in. It's 47 of the 64 parishes have reported in 3 precincts. A lot early on in the night. A lot more to go. Jeff Landry, 52%. Sean Wilson, 23%. Those numbers, folks, just to be very, very clear, and I don't know who's watching, but these numbers are going to change big time. They're going to go high. They're going to go low. They're going to go all kind of different ways. So just, whatever you're reading now, these are early voting numbers. There's no way Jeff is going to win this thing tonight.
And if it does, it'll be that means a lot more people voted for him than, because see, my dad talked about this with me the other day. He said, Isaac, I don't see people voting for Sean Wilson either. And it's just, some of the comments that Sean Wilson said, it was just bizarre, in my opinion.
Yeah, so let's take a quick look. Secretary of State, I'm not really too concerned about Lieutenant Governor.
That looks like Billy got majority of those early.
That's only going to increase. Let's see, 21%. Nancy Landry doing pretty well with early voting, coming in at kind of second. Yeah, second place, Clay Scheck-Snyder, the current Speaker of the House. Then Mike Francis in third, a virtual tie, basically at 18%. Gwen Greenup, 17%. That's interesting as well. Brandon Trosclair, 13,404, coming in at 6% of the vote. Attorney General Marty Maley, 7%. Liz Muriel, for 46%. So you've got 100,431. Coming in at a second would be Lindsey Cheek, the Democrat.
Yeah.
And then Stefanski coming in at 19, Representative Stefanski, 42,000, and Perry Walker Terrebonne, 16,000. So that's interesting. Treasurer, not surprising, John Fleming, 46%. Scott McKnight, the Republican, the other Republican, 54%, 54,000. And Dustin Granger, 67,500, coming in second place with 30%. Interesting. Maybe Fleming could take it tonight. Who knows?
I want to go ahead and go back to the Secretary of State race though, because that is all. I know we're getting some 4 precincts out of the 3,929 right now, but almost all the early and absentee reporting is almost in for all the parishes. If that is a indicator of what's going to happen, it will look like it'll be a runoff between Nancy Landry and possibly Mike Francis. Mike Francis and Clay Shea-Snyder, they will be fighting for the number 2 right now. Nancy Landry has a strong 2% lead right now.
I know you also have the Democrat though, and that's going to be the issue, because wait till Arlene's parish. Correct. That's also going to be a big indicator as well, Arlene's parish, and that's going to be very late into the night, because that's just how they are. Let's just see if they even no, that's Washita. Let's just see. Yeah, we have probably nothing. You see nothing. Yeah. So Collins Greenups is going to go big time higher. Let's get back to St. Martin Parish though. I'm very invested in that one.
Well, yeah, we're from here, so
yeah, I'm very invested in that one. I think that one's going to be pretty interesting. Let's go. Clerk of Court. So we still have no updated results.
I think Laura Blanchard takes that one tonight, dude. I met Mr. Cruz, I met Mr. Sy, and there's some good guys, but Laura Blanchard, dude, as for campaigning, blew it out the water. She just blew it out the water. She was everywhere. And the big selling point to her was, look, I worked under the clerk of court for 30 years. I know the process. And which Mr. Reggie and Sy, they are part of politics. Reggie is the chief of police out there in the Village of Parks. But man, it's just, you can't beat somebody with that experience at the clerk of court's office.
Yeah, I mean, look, Reggie's point of view was, Laura's going to keep things business as usual, and we don't need business as usual, because I heard him talk. He addressed our committee. Laura addressed our committee too. In full disclosure, I did vote for Laura. It's the bottom line is experience matters in these roles. And Reggie worked there too, and Reggie's got some great experience. And it's not in Sy. I assume lawyer. He's got to be smart in a way. So. I never met Sy. I did meet Sy. He did come to the bash, but I don't really know him all that well. Interesting. It's gonna be didn't I tell you that a lot of people tonight are gonna be shocked?
Right. Yeah, you did. Well, especially a lot of these races, like Secretary of State. And look, props to Brandon Trosclair. He pushed as much as he possibly could, but when a lot of people, and Kelby, I know you probably disagree with this. I think a lot of people agreed with him on what he wanted to do in the office, but I think a lot of people turned away. This is where we're going to agree. I think it's the paper ballots. Hey, we're going to go back to paper ballots, and that's where a lot of people was like, that,
and also the assumption that the thing is, why have a guy think? The dude thinks it's rigged. Okay, he thinks it was stolen, but yet he doesn't, he says that he hacked the Secretary of State. He says that.
Yeah.
But you ask around and everybody says he's full of crap. That did not happen. So which is it? And I just think, look, the elections in Louisiana are about the only thing done right around here.
One of them.
Yeah, so I don't know. He's a little too out there for me.
but my Secretary of State's website's starting to work up a little bit, but we're gonna keep it on yours. You look like yours.
Yeah, we can just keep it.
Yeah, cause it's just giving me problems for some reason over here at the BGS Media Studios.
You got your Wi-Fi. You probably don't. I bought the best package from Cox. The Wi-Fi.
Oh, we got a good package too. It's just sometimes but we have the whole system running from the live stream right here too. So that's
it's gonna pull in up right.
That might pull a lot, and we are on 3 platforms. So, but I got my Go Vote app and my Secretary of State's thing on here. Man, did it have any other news from oh, you know what, let's go look up Alan Seaball's seat. Let's see how they're doing over there. I think that's 39, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see who's the second place Republican, and it looks like that's
it'd be John Schroeder.
That's Schroeder. Yeah. So as far as on the Republican side, Jeff, and there's Landry, and then Schroeder. And I'll definitely want to keep an eye on Hunter Lundy. That guy is slick talking. And then Wagaspax had a strong third on the Republican side. Sharon Hewitt,
Not doing that well.
Not doing that well. Interesting. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. Alan Seaball. What? That's district 30. Nope, that's district. I don't know.
To find it, I know it's in the 30s.
No, there's no way it's in the 30s.
Well, he's up north, Louisiana.
Maybe it is in the 30s. Yeah, 30.
31 right there.
31. Yeah, Alan. Nope, not good.
Man, that's a tight race. Early numbers.
Yeah, it's early numbers though.
But man, Alan's out in part of that district he's running in right there. He is
first of all, it's a lot of parishes. First of all,
yeah, a lot of parishes.
District.
But one of his parishes is running where he was a rep at, so he should get votes from there as well.
Yeah, but I mean, look how close it is. It's very close. And then and he just he just got wiped out in Natchitoches. In early voting. Again, it's early voting. We'll see how strong their get out the vote was. That's what it's all. And I had to turn down clients. Some guy wanted to send a video. I said, no, you're not sending a video. You're getting people out to vote. Your persuasion days are over. You're past it. You're not persuading anybody. You're saying you have to identify, which is a lot of local people don't understand. You have to identify your voters, identify your opponents of voters, and then get yours out to vote. Okay, that's literally the legitimate part of the game, and that's what you have to do. You have to say, okay, we got you down, you liked us, or you was nice to us, or something, whatever. Now I need to communicate to you to go vote, and whoever did that the best will win. It's all about getting out the vote. That is the most important part of a campaign, the tail end of it. And a lot of campaigns, because they're run by morons, run out of money.
Yep.
They run out of money.
And it's sad because look, dude, there's a lot of good candidates out there, man. And they fall short of the finish line because of lack of funds or something of that nature.
Yeah. And then something, yeah. So again, we have no results.
Just to go back to the city parish mayor's president race in Lafayette, dude, that is okay. I knew Josh would have a run for his money, but I didn't think he would start losing right at the beginning of it.
Yeah. I mean, and
No. What's Kevin Knock? I think Kevin Knockhand's on the ballot too this time, huh?
No, Kevin, he's termed out.
He is termed out. He wasn't running for nothing. I thought he was running for something.
No, but you see, look, I mean, Monique Blanco Bouyer's parents,
Kathleen Blanco.
Absolute royalty in Lafayette.
That's true.
Coach with UL. I mean, all of that group, and then you have Kathleen Blanco, Governor Kathleen Blanco, who strong ties with the African American community, strong ties with the Democrats, okay, in Lafayette. And they all were behind her. They all were behind Monique.
Oh, which leads to a question.
Well, no, because at the end of the no, and I know where you're going with that. No, because at the end of the day, Josh is not. I'm gonna tell you right now, Josh is not a big old partisan like everybody thinks he is. And I know he had to go ahead and I don't want to say prostitute himself. How can I say that nicer? He had to go around people and that he doesn't have anything in common with the Lunsfords of the world. Okay. And, people don't know this, but Josh was my business law professor at UL. And that dude literally is about as open-minded as you can get. And he's not a partisan, right? He's not a hardcore Republican. So the premise of your question was she's a rhino or she's a...
Oh, no. I wasn't even going around that. I was just talking about her name having that.
Right, what I'm saying is, no, but she has Democrat ties, right? And look, she did change her voter registration up until qualifying. I mean, that is our running for this. But Josh is not who everybody thinks. Josh is a chameleon. Josh can read a room.
Yeah.
Well, very well.
And like I said, these are all early voting numbers. They have not had since we talked.
I don't think Josh will probably get in a runoff.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Josh will probably get in a runoff, and she's going to smoke him in that runoff.
Well, and it depends, and it also depends on Jane Swift's.
And Jan's going to go straight to Monique Blanco.
Think
100%. I mean, she's running against Josh. Why would she support him?
Right. Well, and that, like I said, it all depends, because I know that race has gotten nasty over there in Lafayette Parish.
Yeah, and look, let me tell you something. Josh is one of the nicest people. I have nothing. If I was in Lafayette, I'd vote for Josh. The only problem I have with Josh is ruffled feathers in Lafayette Parish.
And I agree with you. The only thing I didn't like with Josh, and I know there's a lot more behind the story with that, but the Spillbank issue with St. Martin Parish. I think it was kind of shaky, and he shouldn't have done what he did. And
but how much of that is Chester trying to puff up his chest because and be like, oh, you did.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, though, when you have the Army Corps of Engineers telling him not to do it as well, you get what I'm saying? It just
don't get me wrong, and I 100% agree with you on that. Sure, legitimate thing. We have nothing updated in St. Martin, so that sucks.
We're waiting on Chad Hardy to give us a call. He's one of your fellow RPEG members.
Yeah, get Chad on the phone.
We got to call. We got to text him and see where he's at. We got to call and see where he's at, if he's coming or what. Let's see.
Yeah, just call him.
Okay, and he said, you lead and I will answer and tell you where you have passed and the results there. Let me call and see if he's ready. I know Chad got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. I just text him. Let's see if good. I'd like to get Chad's view, because we also have Chris Tozan supposed to be coming on around the 8:45 mark. So we're gonna have fun with that. We got that is a unopposed parish council member, and we're looking into St. Martin Parish. We're based out of St. Martin Parish. So let me see if he's ready. He has not texted back yet. And Chad's at them parties right now, man. Chad's at them parties. I was about to say, Kelby, you have it on the Facebook page. Hey, if you're passing by, share this live Facebook page, share this live stream with people, and we can go ahead and get some likes and everything of that good nature. So let's get some people onto the show. So he hasn't replied back yet. He's probably at a party, which there's some pretty good parties out there. Kelby, Blake Miguez is at Pat's. We have Albert Guillory, I think, at Prejean's. We have a lot of good. There was a lot of good food passing around, but we had to be doing this, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I wasn't going anywhere.
And look, man, I would have loved to do this at a campaign party, but man, it was just, there we go. He's calling right now. Let's go ahead and put him on. Mr. Chad Hardy, how you doing, sir? Okay, hold 1 second. 1 second. We got to get you on.
Direction we're going.
All right, there we go, my friend. How you doing? This is Mr. Chad Hardy, RPEC member and great friend. So, Chad, how you doing, man? How's the party going?
Doing good. No mixer because I'm not rich like Kelby and I'm not old like him. So just call me Chad.
Chad. I said, did I call you Mr. Hardy, huh?
That's fine. Just call me Chad, brother. It's great to be with you. You do a great job and enjoy listening to you. Me and my designated, my driver for the night, a good friend of mine from San Andrew Parish, passed by Dustin Miller, good friend. He's going to be reelected to the House. His 4-term, great for an RPEC, I would say good Democrat, House Appropriations Committee, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment. He'll win. And we're subsequently at Josh Guillory's field in Lafayette, which early voting results had Ms. Boulay at 39% and Josh at 37%. Look like they'll be headed to a runoff. If you know as well as I do, early voting is an indication of 95% of the time and historically who heads into a runoff. So unless something happens different tonight, it looks like Mayor President Giller will be in a runoff with former Governor Blanco's daughter, Monique Blanco Boulay. And
all right, Chad. Can you hear me, Chad?
Barely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on our end. It's because it's in the speaker. I got you all the way though.
Okay, so we're WBRZ is making a projection. Billy Nungesser has been reelected.
I just saw that too. KTC3 just made the same announcement.
What percentage? Is that Kelby?
Yeah, Kelby's on the other side. Kelby,
hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Yeah, we don't have the percentage just yet, but I'm going to get to a question real quick, closer to home. Pete Delcom won early voting for parish president, 2,558 votes. Kevin Cately, 1,194, and Dean LeBlanc, the councilman, 2,002 votes.
So that was roughly 44% to Pete. I saw that at a glance, and
so that shocked me. That shocked me a little bit. What do you make of that?
I vote against the establishment. I mean, I hate to say that, but Dean's related to me. I got a little skin in the game, but it's just, I guess, people are not satisfied with government. I won't say as usual, but just the way things are going. And I thought things were going okay, but apparently I was wrong, and we'll see by the end of the night. It looks like there's going to be a runoff, and the Mayor Parks, who switched to independent, with roughly 30% of African Americans voting in the parish, may stay home on November 18th other than to go vote.
Yeah. So another race close at home, Laura Blanchard, 4,122 early voting. She's at 73% right now. Nobody else has reported. No precincts have reported just yet. Reggie Crew. She's at 4,122. Reggie's at 872, and Savoie is 689.
So she's at 73% early voting?
73% of early voting.
Well, I'll do like WBRZ. I'll call that tonight, right now.
Yeah, you think she wins it
There's
tonight?
no way to catch that.
Yeah, 4,000.
70% hard to turn around, brother.
Yeah,
4,000.
And look, do you agree or do you not agree? If your early voting operation sucked, your election day operation, get out the vote operation's probably going to suck too.
Oh, 1,000%. That's something we always agreed on, you and I.
There's a little place in there are two idiots in Bro Bridge. Okay. One name is Dale and one name is Ginger. And people have to stop hiring those people, right?
Well, then they come to us. Ignited Marketing will get you to the finish line.
And they come get BGS Media to film all their commercials. Hey, see, Kelby, we can go ahead and advertise ourselves right here, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're not gonna charge me $20?
I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you lunch.
On a different note, again, projected by a number of news sources in the Louisiana area. Billy Nungasser, I put William Nungasser because that's his real name. Big Billy. He beats out Albert Guillory. Kelby, can you go ahead and put up the numbers to the lieutenant governor's race? Because man, that seems kind of early to call when you didn't even. I don't even know.
Can you share it?
Yeah, let me go. Oh, I didn't know I had that opportunity. There you go. So yeah, Albert. Man, 5% for Albert, and everybody else is maybe 1, 2, 10,
70-something, 80-something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's something we knew. Real quick, Secretary of State's race. We do have 130, precincts in. Good bit. Let's see.
It's neck and neck with Landry. Hey,
can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Nancy Landry's at 63,536. Greenup is at 65,000. So we're looking at Nancy and Gwen. Mike Francis at 51,000. Let's see. Clay Scheck-Snyder, the Speaker of the House, 53,000 in the votes. Brandon Trosclair, 19,000. That's going to be a tight one.
I agree, and I got skin in the game without going into detail, but I think that Commissioner Francis had as much advantage as Nancy did going into this with a 17 parish area, but you can't rely on the same votes he did in the fall. And Nancy had the name recognition as much as he did in a way, being that with the Landry name, whether they voted straight down, but of course he was on the ballot before her. Some people do that. You and I hear about being first on the ballot. His word won 3 to 4 points, and it's a known fact. I ain't got no scientific data, but as well as I do, it is. But I think that'll be the nail biter tonight. The one that was 57% on the side as of Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean it's fighting.
What about the Attorney General
against Gwen? It's what it is. I mean you fighting for that number 2 spot with Gwen.
Right.
Attorney General race.
Before we move on to the Attorney General, I was one of them undecided voters until this morning because I didn't. I was, between Brandon Trosclair and Nancy Landry. Now, I went ahead and voted for Brandon Trosclair, but I told people when they would ask, hey, who you're voting for, I would tell them, look, I'm at a toss-up because, I didn't hear that much of Nancy Landry until later on in the campaign, but she had a lot of pull.
I think that I spoke to one of Kyle's top advisors who's been a personal friend of mine for about 7 years now. He's his top advisor, personal advisor. And he just said this, honestly, between the 2020 and all the unfortunate BS that came after that, the stress got to him in the private, compared to income in the private sector. But I think that had he announced earlier would have given Nancy an advantage. And I still believe that, and again, I got skin in the game, but I think that Commissioner Francis may pull out something before the end of the night. But if they're going to fight, like I agree with Kelby, my cousin said that I'll be fighting with Green Collins Greenup, who forced Collins to run up twice and ran first in 18 and 19 for that second place spot. And I mean, I hate to say it, but don't call the self-acclaimed conservative Speaker of the House out. But outside of his rural areas and the revs that are going on in the next that are not running again to help him, I think he's done after this. There's going to probably be between First Assistant Nancy Lands and Commissioner Mike Francis for that second place spot, in my opinion, after Green Collins Greenup.
So Kelby, let's turn to those Attorney General numbers because they just changed while before we was talking to him. Lindsey Clerk got 26% of the vote. Marty got 77% right now. Moreau has 43%. Stefanski has jumped to 17%, and Perry Walker Terrebonne at 8%. Now I know you're gonna give the vote numbers, so.
So what did Liz? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kelby.
Yeah, so Liz is basically Mural. She's basically at 150 right now, 150,000. Second place would be the Democrat Lindsey Cheek. And then third place coming in, John Stefanski, 60,000. Marty's at 20. Last place with 23,000 votes.
That is still, I thought Marty would get more.
But it's still very early. I mean, it's still very early. Yeah. So I mean, look, you think Liz? I don't see Liz getting it tonight.
Not happening.
Now, what about John? So let's take a quick look at Fleming real quickly. Fleming's 42%, Granger 36, Scott McKnight 23. John Fleming's in the lead, 145,000. Dustin Granger is 124, and McKnight's about 80,000.
I had predicted Dustin may run first, but there's a lot of undecided conservative Democrats that I'm gonna throw out there. Some of the people disagree about that like Dr. Fleming's resume in the last 4 years from 17 to 21. They may have coalesced to him, but I still think that he'll run the tight second to Granger before the end of the night. And I mean, I've voted for Dr. Fleming, and we shall see it in the night. But I think when all is said and done, Dr. John Fleming will ultimately be the next Louisiana State Treasurer. In my humble opinion.
Real quickly,
I think it's going to be a runoff with John Fleming and the Democrat. That's what, and like I said, this is all we're going to have a lot of runoffs going in. Chad and Kelby, we got one more question for Chad right now. Chad, will you be able to call us later on in the night as well?
What time? I'll be on the road, but I'll be happy to call.
When you're on the road, just text me and let me know when you're ready. And Kelby, give us that one more question before we get to Chris Toze.
Yeah, just real quick, Chad. Jump back to the governor's race. Honestly, I don't see where Jeff is not victorious at some point. Jeff's at 40. Jeff Landry 47%. Sean Wilson's 29%. Jeff's got 176,700. Sean's in second with 107. And then Schroeder is, Waguspac's the Republican in second place to Jeff at 24,000. Those numbers right out the gate with Jeff are they're very strong.
I'm still thinking it'll be a runoff between Jeff and Sean. I think Jeff will calm down around 40 and Sean will go to about 30 and the rest will split to 30.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not good at numbers, but historically, I've been through it.
Definitely not going to. This is not over tonight.
No. Well, Chad,
we're
going to thank you for coming
on. If you want
on.
to get back on the show later, just give me a call. I'll text you around in about an hour.
That sounds good, Chad. Let's go ahead. We're supposed to have Mr. Albert on later on. We haven't heard anything yet, so when we get that, I'll shoot you a text.
Thank you, son. God bless. So thank you, Kelby. Thanks, Isaac.
All right, bye. Be careful, Chad.
Have a good one, Chad. All right, so now we're gonna have Mr. Chris Tozan on. Chris, you can hear us. Hey, Chris, you there? Look like we're having some technical difficulties. He'll be back in a little bit. Let's see if this works. Hey, Chris, you there, my friend? Chris, you there? Hey, Chris, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Things I can't get the camera working.
I got you. If you just want to go ahead and talk, that'll be good too.
That's fine, man. It's probably the better side of me.
You have a for radio, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
So Chris, how you doing tonight, man? You having fun going all over the country? Well, all over the state?
I'm good, man. We've been moving around all day, going throughout the parish, seeing what was happening with the voter turnout, and I'm kind of a little disappointed, I guess, because the low voter turnout and all. But It is what it is, man. It's going to help some, hurt some. It's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're one of the only parish councilmen, too. You had two parish councilmen that did not run. They ran unopposed. You are one of them. You're in District 5. Kelby, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but I would like to start with the parish president's race with Chris.
Right.
The early numbers right now, Chris, is showing that Pete Delcom has a good lead over Dean LeBlanc. And Kevin is coming in third with only 21% of the votes counted right now.
Early voting.
Right.
It's early voting.
Right. I saw that a moment ago. I'm not gonna say I'm really shocked and surprised at it. I think a lot of people took Dean, with Dean sitting on the council, maybe we just kind of thought that, he might have been the front runner and all, but Pete Delcom's, he's pretty well respected. He gave a good speech. He talked a good talk. He's a very educated man. He's qualified to do the job. I thought all three guys that were running were qualified. I was a little shocked to see that far ahead, but night's still early and everything, and we'll see what happens and all. But I kind of expected Pete to be up there. I thought he'd be pretty close, him and Dean. And I predicted those two in a runoff early in the campaign after knowing, speaking to both those guys and seeing what they're playing with.
Hey, Kel.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going to ask you, Chris. If you were surprised, I mean, honestly, I was surprised to see Pete at 2,500. That's that is interesting because Pete got in kind of last minute. Chester kind of announced last minute too, that he wasn't going to run. So everybody was scrambling to put a campaign together, including everyone. I just think early voting. You're right. Maybe people did take it. Dean being on the council, being a councilman, for granted in the sense that it was going to all the cards were going to fold, and it was going to kind of default to him. Again, still very early. These are just early voting numbers, but he's a good way ahead. Like Pete's on the committee with me on the GOP, very smart and very able to do that job. I think people make that job a little more than it ought to be. They make it sound a little more impressive than it is. But you've got to work with any three of those guys, all three of them. Whoever wins, you've got to work with them, right?
Right. Yeah. I was the chairman for 2 years, and last year, Miss Jean-Baptiste took over the chairmanship. So I've had the opportunity to work with two parish presidents. Kelby, I'll be the only guy right now that can tell you this as of right now because the votes are all in. But depending on what happens with this election, I'm the only councilman in the history of St. Martin Parish is definitely going to serve with three different parish presidents.
Yeah.
It is going to be tough it's always tough to replace the outgoing parish president and everything. But our biggest loss with Chess is going to be what he knew as our legal advisor. I mean, what he brought to the table as a legal advisor is pretty special. I don't think any one of the three candidates that are coming in are going to have that type of knowledge or that type of expertise when it comes to that field. Listen, we got a good council. We're going to work good together. We're going to work hard together. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Our parish has been the first of many to do different things. I mean, we're the first one to put fiber in the ground. We're the first one to have a water consolidation program that we're working on right now. We'll be the first in the state. We move forward with the small budget we have, and we basically are agriculture, residential-based parish. I think our parish does well for budgeting the money we have and the little bit we have. We can get out of it, move as far as we've come in the recent years in the parish. It's tough to replace your parish president, but I can tell you, I think we're going to be in good hands no matter what. I like the two guys that are front runners right now. I see possibly seeing a runoff. I think we're in good shape, man. I think we'll be good.
And Chris, as we have you right here, you have other races in the parish. Council member, District 1, that's a Fugiler. And
yeah.
And that is that race right there is a neck and neck in one right now.
Yeah, Hoyt Louisiana, I know Hoyt. He's a good fella, man, real good guy. Him and Byron, look, nothing to say bad about Byron. Byron was a good councilman. I served with him for 8 years. I kind of figured that was going to be a real tight race. You know, Hoyt being from the Catahoula area, which was my district, but after reapportionment, I lost that area. And, you know, that was one of my strong points. I made a lot of good connections in Catahoula, real good people. I was fortunate enough to serve him for 8 years, and Byron picked up that district. And with Hoyt being from that area, I knew it'd be a tough race. You can't lose with either one of those guys getting in. I can tell you that much.
What about District 2, Kelby? If we can go down and see where's going on. Let's break down these parishes, right? These council seats for St. Martin Parish.
You think? Yeah, I don't see Carla. You see, I don't see Carla or Tangi really having any issues winning in their district. Vincent Alexander either. I don't really see them having any problems. Do you see it differently, Chris?
No, and I'm gonna tell you, Carla's our chairman right now, and look, she does a really good job, you know, on the chairmanship. I can tell you, Mr. Vincent does a real good job. Tangi, I mean, Tangi's she was a pretty much a leader in her community for a long time, and she was involved with Jason when Jason was term limited. Jason took her by the hand and brought her in, and really got her focused on her district and things she needed to do. And she's been a good councilwoman, and you know, I know she's got 4 people running in there with herself, 3 of the opponents, but I think Tangi will pull through. Carla's a very smart woman. She does a real good job as a chairman of the council. She's been a good friend to me on there, all, you know, as all 3 of them have. But I think those 3 are going to be in pretty good shape. I think they'll be all right. I think they'll get it back in. I think they'll be good.
Do you see the council District 3 going into a runoff? Because right now, none of them have over 50%. I know it's early voting numbers. We haven't had no updates yet, but it's still, unless there's a real surge in something, it looks like that would probably be the only one going into a runoff right now. Yeah,
I didn't think. I was kind of surprised. I thought Vonda would have ran a little bit tighter in that race with Tangi. I thought that race would have been decided by those 2, and you know, I'm just on the outside looking in. I was just surprised to see, you know, but I think as the night goes on and the boxes come through in St. Martinville and they start reporting more, I think Tangi will be all right. I think if you see a runoff, you know, with the Cade area not reporting and nothing yet, that would be my area. I would be concerned if Tangi had to concern herself, you know, in a runoff. I thought it would have been with Vonda Nelson, because they ran a real close race last time. I don't think 100 votes decided that race.
Wow. Council member District 6, Corey Melanson and Mark Thibodeau. A lot of people ask me about that race because I have a lot of friends that live in District 6. Right now, the votes a little over 103 votes separate them, give or take.
Yeah, that race right there, Corey got in the race pretty early when Brooke decided he wasn't going to be running back for that seat. Corey had reached out to me about, you know, maybe seeing about running in that race and getting into that race and all. And Corey got involved real early, and I think he made some real good connections. And Mark, nobody knew he was going to run until late that afternoon. He decided the last day to get in the race and run. Yeah, so that was kind of a shocker when Mark put his name, but nobody kind of expected that.
Who is that? Who is? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either. People asked me about him, but I didn't know who he was.
Mark Thibodeau, he used to be a sugarcane farmer at one time, and if I'm not mistaken, he works for one of the tractor dealerships. He worked for Sammy Broussard for a while as a salesman, and I think now he might be at the Opelousas location working out of there. Nice fella, real good guy and everything. From hometown guy from Breaux Bridge, been in there. It's kind of one of those situations where it's a no-lose situation. I just seem to think that Corey had the upper hand because he started early. He got out there early. He got a lot of commitments from a lot of elected officials in the parish. Kind of got behind Corey early, and I see Corey pulling that one off. To me, I would think Corey would be the favorite in that race.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have District 7 as well, and like I said, all early numbers. Everybody, if you're watching from St. Martin. Vincent Alexander and Melvin how you say that? Crockett. That is the only 402 votes have coming in right now, and Alexander looked like he has the lead with 61% of the vote right now.
Yeah, Mr. Vincent, Vincent's got a story behind him. He was running for a lot of offices before getting into the council and everything, and he's he's been a good council member. Mr. Vincent, he does his job, he does his homework. Vincent's got a good story behind him. If ever you get the opportunity to sit down and talk to him and listen to him, he was a Vietnam veteran. He served in the war. He was a gunner. He lost his hearing during the war. I didn't know that until I got to meet him on the council and got to know him and stuff. But Mr. Vincent's done a good job on the council, and it seems like the voters in his district seem to agree with me. I think he might be the right guy for the job.
And we got
Councilman Alexander really kind of united. He unites the Republicans in that district because, I mean, a Democrat has to win the district. Right. You know, that's just how it's set up. But there are a good bit of Republicans in there. Real quick, the news channels are calling Liz Murrill to be in a runoff. Still too close to call on anybody else to be second in the runoff. But that's a little breaking. Attorney General candidate Liz Murrill will be in a runoff to be determined on who will be her opponent in the second spot. Real quick, Councilman, we'll go through, I guess, the other two. My district, Ben Clay, Blaine Prejean, two good guys. Kind of toss up on that one right now.
Yeah, listen, I know both them fellas. I watched Blaine grow up from, and been a friend of mine for a long time. Had business dealings with Blaine. Blaine did a bunch of work for us on the parish level when I became a council member. When we were redoing the park in Catahoula, he did a good bit of work for us. And I know his family. I know his wife's family well. He's good, just two really good guys, man. It's kind of a no-lose situation right there. Whoever wins this race right here is going to make us an excellent councilman. Both of them bring a lot to the table. I was a little surprised to see Ben that far ahead. I thought that race would be close. I thought that'd be one of those races we see where, you could see 10, 20 votes decide that race between them. And as the night goes on, they might get to that point because,
it's possible, Chris, because right now, St. Martin Parish has not reported anything, and we hitting our 9 o'clock hour, and there is no more reporting. Everything is what I'm seeing right now on the screen is early or absentee ballots.
Well, if we wanted early numbers, we'd have to go take a field trip to get the results on the, and then Daniel Richard, your colleague in District 9, Chris Corville. Chris is strong right now in early voting.
That race kind of shocked me right there when I saw the results. The absentee. I thought it wouldn't have been that close, but man, that race might go down to the wire tonight. It's pretty tight right now where it's at.
Yeah, and real quick, clerk of court, Laura kind of wiped everybody out. She's at 4,300, but 4,000 in early voting. I think that's going to be done tonight. I don't know how you catch up with that. Number.
Yeah, Kelby, I agree with you on that one right there. Listen, when you ran against Laura Blanchard, you didn't just run against Laura Blanchard. You ran against the clerk of court's office. I mean, listen, Becky kept those women, united over there. They almost like a little family inside of that office, and they work together. They've been working together for so long. When we saw it when Becky ran, listen, when Becky had opposition, she went out there. Man, she went out there with a caravan of women. And look, they knocked on doors. They did everything they had to do. They knew how to get out there and get the word out. And when you saw Laura out on the street and in public and everything, and Becky was with her, Ella was with her, all her colleagues that had been working with her for years. And then, even Miss Brenda Dewitt has retired and everything. You see them retired people that retired from clerk of court going out there and helping to make sure that family stays together and gets things done. I mean, it's hard when you run against office and you run against a machine like they have in that office with the family united, they build and all. And look, I was fortunate enough. I grew up. Me and Laura rode the school bus together. She lived 4 houses down from me. Laura's always been a good, quiet girl, very conservative person and good family. She married into another good family with the Blanchard family and all. And good people. I'm glad to see Laura move on and do this. I know she's ready to do the job. I know she's prepared to do the job, and she's sitting in the office doing it right now. So, we're not going to miss a beat in the clerk of court's office. And I know y'all guys know this better than anybody else. We got a president's race coming up next year, and we don't want anybody just working those clerk of court in that office that has no knowledge or general idea of how we got to run those elections. That's one of the few things in Louisiana that we are ranked in the top 10 is our election process. So we want to stay where we are with that thing.
And Miss Pat is wonderful at the registrar of voters. I mean, we really do have a strong you know, my grandmother, she was she had reached the age to where she could mail in the ballot. She was like, well, I don't know if I trust it. I said, let me tell you something. Those ladies over there are so professional, and you can trust them. I promise you.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I want to commend you before y'all leave. I just want to commend you and Kelby, Isaac, from what y'all doing right here. Listen, I enjoy listening to y'all show. I enjoy being part of the show. If y'all can get Chad to kick in an extra meal ticket, I might maybe go eat lunch with y'all one day or something. That wouldn't be a bad deal.
Well, he's probably listening right now. If he's not watching the Tigers obliterate the Auburn Tigers, 34-18 right now. So, like I said, you know, hey, Kelby and Chad, agree. If you agree with me, say something. I never thought we would be doing a political show, but we also sportscasters as well. I'm just saying.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, we just fortunate enough that the Tigers are winning tonight, because it was looking bad for the last few weeks.
Right.
But with that being said, Chris, thank you for coming on, man. And you know, we're probably gonna get in touch with you pretty soon. With runoff elections next month, we're probably gonna do this again. So, you know, keep your phone handy, my brother.
I sure will, man. Thanks for what y'all do.
No problem. Thank you, Chris, and thank you for your service.
All right.
Thank you, Councilman.
All right.
Hey, I don't know about you, but man, we got some good politicians here in St. Martin Parish, man.
Yeah, I know.
Got some good politicians here, and I think, you know, we've got some good people running our parish.
Yeah, real quick, the mayor president's race over in our neighbors have tightened up.
Oh yeah,
time. Josh now in the lead, but a virtual tie, 12,755. Ms. Boulay with 12,585. Pretty close, and Jan Swift at 8,700. Interesting.
Lafayette Parish plays big in St. Martin Parish because half of us work in Lafayette Parish majority of the time.
A lot of us work. Yep, true. Real quick, Jeff's going down a little bit as expected. 50% of the vote. Sean's edging up 27% of the vote. Republicans, like Chad said, are just going to be splitting the rest of it, and you know,
right.
That's what happens when everybody runs. Hunter Lundy running a little lower than expected. We've got about 1,400 precincts of the 39,000 of the 3,900, precincts. So it is coming in. But Channel 10 is calling that Liz Murrow will face Lindsey Cheek in a runoff, the Democrat candidate for the Attorney General. So it's breaking. It'll be Liz Murrow and Lindsey Cheek in a runoff in November.
And we talked about this race in private conversations. I remember I told you, I said Liz would have to go ahead and just blow it out the water, or it'll be a tight race. I'm surprised, Kelby, to be honest with you, that she's that big of a lead. I thought people like John Stefanski and Marty Mealy would hold that lead.
No, and I'll tell you why. I'll put my insider's hat on, and I'll tell you why. It's because you have to have a legitimate operation, right? If you don't have a legitimate operation, and Liz to a certain extent did have legitimate operations. If you're running a statewide campaign and you don't have a presence in the regional, if you don't break the state up either by the legislative, the congressional districts, or split it into regions, so Acadiana, the North, the Northeast, the Northwest, Baton Rouge, you know, and then the East, the Southeast part of the state. If you don't have that, if you're not running out these mini campaigns, exactly like a presidential campaign, but with states, if you're not having that, then you're not winning. If you're running everything out of your office somewhere in Crowley, which I presume that's what John Stefanski was doing, or you're running everything out of, you know, your law office in Opelousas, which that's exactly what Elbert was doing. You lose that opportunity, right? You lose that opportunity to have a presence. You have to have a presence, but you know what that takes? Money.
Money, yeah.
It's money. And Liz had the money because she, you know, that deals were cut. I can assure you that probably that's how that happened. Deals were cut. Look, the state is a third Black, okay? And the state is a third basically Democrat. So that's 30%, and then bam, a Democrat candidate is in the runoff.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because you've talked about it on the show when you came on, and we've talked about it extensively in our private conversations. The LA GOP's endorsement of Jeff
But hold on, but
Landry,
that also,
it
and
trades over the list too.
not to cut you off real quick, but that also, when the LA GOP endorses you, that means you get to pool the resources together, right? So that means you get to work together and have their people. Well, the LA GOP don't really have staffers because they're idiots. But basically, what would happen is you get to have all of their resources and share all their resources. Why do you think all the Republicans were mad when Jeff got the endorsement? It's because they know that now everything becomes one, and they get to raise a gazillion of dollars. They get to hire people and do all that. That's what happens.
And this is why I know this is a subject that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but this is why we need to get rid of the way we vote right now. The jungle primary needs to go. It needs to we need to have a, and look, I talked to Steven, I saw the Wags on this when he came on. Wags was like, well, yeah, but it might no, it would leave it up to us. You get what I'm saying? You know, we could go ahead, and I understand the LA GOP is going to be there.
Republicans, yeah, but I don't trust the Republican Party anymore. I don't trust Republican primary voters. If you have all these great candidates, right, running for president, the Republican nomination for president, yet they still want to go with you know who, then I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Don't limit my voice in that. And that's what that would do. And look, we've gotten to some extreme people because Louisiana used to have primaries. Real quick, though, Fleming and Granger, according to WAFB, will be in a runoff. For treasurer, that's John Fleming, Dr. John Fleming, former congressman from North Louisiana, will be in a runoff with a Democrat Dustin Granger.
Can I give you an opinion on that race? Because I'm seeing that number right now. It's 50%. I know you need 50 plus one, but I think that who was that called that?
No, this is a parish number you were seeing.
Okay. So I was wondering. That's what I want to go look at that. Now I understand why they called it. Now I understand, because I was like, man, that's over 50%. I think they called that early, but we were under the impression Scott McKnight. I never thought he would make it into the runoff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because the right got behind John Fleming. You got to wonder why. A lot of people are saying he's also would be in the running for Senate as well against Bill Cassidy in a few years. Now, if Jeff is elected and the new rumor is he would run for the Senate seat, then obviously, that would be, So I'm getting a text message from somebody, and I won't read you their name, but they said it's a person I really respect. It's going to be close to the point where Jeff could win outright tonight. I don't agree, but that's an opinion. That's an opinion out there. We do like to share the opinion.
Right. And look, if you have an opinion, put it on the comment section. Let us hear from you. We have some people watching. We have Michael J. Williams. He said a red wave. He also said, let's go Jeff Landry. So, you have an opinion out there. Come and put it into the comment section. Let's hear from you from YouTube, Facebook, and also Rumble.
You see, the interesting thing is, Orleans Parish, right? It's been very quiet. At least it has been on my end. It's been very quiet in Orleans. Sean Wilson has done big operations in Orleans. What's going to be interesting to see also, what I'm going to be watching, is the results, which we haven't touched on it yet. And I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any results in Jefferson Parish. Jefferson Parish has gone for John Bel Edwards twice, so this is pretty interesting so far. They've got a lot of precincts in, and Jeff is doing surprisingly well in Jefferson Parish. So there's still a good bit to go, but he's doing pretty good in Jefferson Parish. Orleans, Orleans also is going to be, another big one. You know, we do have some numbers out in Orleans, some, you know, very
That's not a
early
surprise
numbers.
right there.
Turnout, early voting turnout was low. That's low in Orleans Parish.
So Kelby, while we talking about that, we're talking about races that we keep an eye on. Let's check out the state senate race, District 22. Let's see how we doing in that part right there. That you know, let's see if anything changed on that front. Oh wow.
Yeah, Blake looks like he's doing pretty well in this district. Now, again, let's just see where. Let's break it down by parish. We've got 3 parishes in that. All have reported early voting. Blake has done very well in early voting. They've been hitting hard. They've been hitting the text messages multiple times a day, multiple times a week. I've been getting them all. And they're all been for Blake. I think Hugh might have sent 1 or 2. Again, keep in mind, Hugh has impressions, right? And I want to tell you who has who. Hugh Andre has impressions. Dean LeBlanc has impressions too. Let's keep that in mind. Impressions, Bro Bridge. If you're running for office, don't call those people. Don't even call me because I don't really care. I'm not saying you call me. You don't have to call me. I'm just saying don't call idiots. Whatever you do, and they're idiots. And I swear there will be a lot to be said if Dean doesn't win or does not well. Promise you. So anyway, so what's his name? Blake seems like he's done pretty well. Right. Blake did his job. I mean, that's what Blake's not first time running. Hugh's first time running. I mean, you've got a lot to learn. It's a learning curve. And then you go hire morons. So like you're asking for it. I don't care how much money you throw to this. When you hire people and you don't know what you're doing.
I'm gonna say about that race too, though. You know, I'm gonna say it. Fred Mills did not help Hugh Andre out that much either, because when Hugh,
what's Fred to do? Fred is, first of all, wasn't too popular. Then he made himself even less popular with his vote. So Fred was Chernobyl.
Well, no, this is why I'm saying this though. You had a conservative that said, "Listen, I'm not gonna do what Fred did," but Blake went ahead and pushed. If you elect Hugh Andre, he's going to be part of that good old boy system. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're going to have another Fred Mills in place."
Well, to say Fred, no, I can't let you. I can't let you dog Fred that much. To say he's not conservative. I mean, I think
no. But the latest vote, that was the push beam. That, you know what I'm saying? Look, Fred did some good things.
Some could say. I mean, hey, there's a lot of people on the right that say the government has no business doing this, right? Some could say it's a government issue. And also that was a non-issue as well, because it's not happening in Louisiana.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that I think that was a lot of people's mind. And you can't lie, Blake did a lot of good stuff for Louisiana too. And coming from District 49, it was a good play. Hey, Kelby, if you can, I know you're on the website right now. Look up District 49. I would like to see Jacob Landry and David Eden's race, because that's
that hot mess.
Yeah, that's a good, that would be a good race to talk about, because that is Blake Miguez's former spot too. So, you know, will it be left in good hands, or what we'll see. So, and Jacob Landry's killing it out there.
I suspect, yeah. I mean, that's not surprising as well. David Eaton got eaten.
No pun intended, huh?
I like David Eaton. There's no shade. There's no shade at all. I like David.
Yeah, David's a good guy, man. I love David.
David means well. Sandy again. 4,000. Now there's a lot of people. I want to say, I forget we are on TV, right, or whatever the hell this is. I want to make a joke about Sandy so bad, but I'm not gonna do it.
Be nice, Kelby. Be nice.
It's hard.
It's hard. You know
what? I will say it. When you have the opportunity to reach 13,000 voters on this damn thing, right, and you blow it twice,
it's not. Hey,
you get what you get.
You know, let's talk about that, because, you know, Blake and a lot of these candidates that are blowing away were very active on social media.
Well, no, I'm talking about text messages, right? We were teed up 13,000 messages for Sandy, and he didn't want it. He said, "I'll go do it somewhere cheaper." Then he finds that he can't find it cheaper because I give good deals and I don't rip people's eyeballs out because I'm a nice person at the end of the day.
Really? I had the best with you. I'm sorry.
Then he comes back and says, "Oh, well, I couldn't find nobody to do it. Can you do it?" And I'm like, "No, you snooze, you lose." I could have did it, but we snooze, you lose. But 13,000 people twice in his district blew it.
Yeah, and that's a.
And then guess what? Guess what? He's down 3,000 points. He's down 3,000 voters, right? I just said points like I'm reading the NASDAQ.
Hey, what about District 1? Let's check out Danny McCormick's. That's no. I like Danny. Danny's a good guy. He's the first.
I can see how you'd like Danny.
Hey man, I like having a gun, and I don't have to go get a concealed carry.
This man is Danny McCormick. That he's wild.
Yeah, but the early votes showing that he's probably gonna go ahead and walk away with that too. So what else, because I need to go find out where she was running from. But you have some other. Yeah, do you have any other state reps? They're all up for grabs.
This one's interesting. The Senate race: Barry Ivy, Rick Edmonds. Again, I told you a lot of people are going to be surprised tonight, Barry Ivy included.
What about District 31 with Alex Seaball? Let's go ahead and check that out too. He in 31.
Yeah, so Allen's now back on top. Allen will probably win very close. That's my prediction.
It's going to be a close race, and
it'll be closer than it should be.
And you know what, Kelby? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's already 9:21, dude. I thought for sure we would have had a lot more races called right now, at least for runoffs. But it's going a little longer than what we thought.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's go ahead and I'm trying to find one of the state races that, because we talked to a few candidates that were running for state rep. Going on my list right now. How's Jamie Pope doing? Oh, well, so we lost.
Let's see what district Jamie Pope is in.
I saw her earlier. Check this out. And of course I didn't put it on my the 65th.
All right, 65th district. All right. All right. It's not doing good.
Oh, but we knew, Brandon Ivy is Barry Ivy's, I think, twin brother.
Twin brother, yeah.
So that he already Moon calls him Poison Ivy. That's how I remember Barry Ivy.
Of course, Moon does. Of course.
But dude, that name was already put into that district. So that's gonna be, And look,
let's take a look back at the governor's race, because Jeff's back at 52%, I'm told.
Okay.
Or 51% now. Yeah, this is getting interesting. That's getting interesting.
There's a little over 1,500 precincts that need to still be reported, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, I don't think Arlene's has been reported any yet.
I think that's why that race hasn't been called yet. Orleans has not been called.
I mean, everybody's gonna be very careful. Yeah, Orleans is slowly coming in, but again, turnout was relatively down in early voting for Orleans Parish. Jeff, I mean, let's take a look at St. Tammany real quick and see how bad that was. Because you've got Sharon Hewitt, Richard Nelson, and Schroeder from St. Tammany. And it looks like Jeff did pretty well.
And see, that is the Jefferson Parish, St. Tammany Parish. That's probably why Jeff's ahead that much right now, because those three parishes are playing a big role in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Calcasieu, Hunter, Lundy is going to be the spoiler in Calcasieu, but Jeff's still doing relatively well.
Do you now we know Arlene Parrish is going to Sean Wilson, but you see if
That's going to help tighten up the margin. It will.
Yeah, it will help tighten up the margin. But the thing of it is, Jeff Landry, if Jeff Landry could stay hitting that 48 to 50% in every other parish, it is possible he takes this tonight. That's just,
but I mean,
it's tight, Kelby. It's tight, but at the same time,
but it's a percentage though. It's 50.1%. 50.1%.
Yeah,
that's what you have to win.
And that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be. It's gonna come close. It's gonna come close. And look, because no other candidate is getting close to Jeff right now. Sean Wilson, I was predicting Sean Wilson probably get at least 30-some%, kind of like Chad. It's that only 25% statewide. That is a big number.
But it just goes to show you that this state has they ride around on their roads. I mean, people ride around on the roads. And who was in charge of the roads for a very long time? And that was Sean Wilson.
Right.
So that was Sean Wilson. But also, another thing, Sean, Sean was in John Bell Edwards' administration. John Bell's not entirely popular at the moment. So let's take a look. Let's see if we got anything in more in St. Martin.
LSU game. I know you're watching it. For all the people that are not watching it, LSU up 48-18, and there's a minute and 43 left. So I'm
making a projection. LSU is going to win
by a landslide. But man, we got there's a lot. There's a lot to break down. What you got?
Pete Delcom 4,700.
And dude, we're only halfway with the precincts right now. So I'm gonna say it like this. I think it's gonna be Pete Delcom and Dean LeBlanc in that runoff.
You think?
I think so. I think it's gonna be a runoff, and we still got a lot going on now. Look at it like
I tell you what. If that's the case, Dean LeBlanc better start making some phone calls.
Why you say that? Why you say that? I'm just asking. Why you say that?
Dean LeBlanc better start making some phone calls.
Hey. Marketing and media. Hey, we'd hear. But no,
marketing. I don't do no. Marketing is. I'm not. This is political. I'm not marketing. I'm political. Yeah. I'm marketing. If you call me about your business,
right.
But I'm political. If you call me about your campaign,
right. Now, but I do. Now, I will say this though. Kevin jumping in at the last minute did stop a lot of those votes in there, though. You get what I'm saying? I think that was a big play on a lot of stuff.
No, Kevin is getting exactly what Kevin was gonna get anyway.
No, I get what you're saying.
Anybody voting for Kevin was not voting for Pete and was not voting for Dean.
So, but even that though, they don't go vote. That brings down the numbers, and it we would have a call for Pete or Dean tonight.
Honestly, I think, it'd be a two-man race, of course. Right. But I think Kevin Cately's running a little lower than I would have imagined. Talk for a second. I want to pull up the precincts because I'm not familiar with all the precincts, but I want to pull up the precincts.
Well, we do have a question. We do have a question.
Yeah, I'm going to look and see what
somebody's asking about Vermilion Parish. What is for Vermilion Parish? I don't know who's how everything's going. That became from Mr. Terry right here. So we have to see. We're gonna go ahead and look into that for you. But that's one of the questions. I just got a text message. We will be seeing Mr. Elbert Guillory. He's gonna be coming on in a few moments as well. As we announced earlier, multiple news platforms are calling that Billy Nungesser will be continue his role in the Attorney General's office. So that's going to be an interesting phone call to talk to Mr. Guillory. Mr. Guillory was hopeful. And, we see it right now, Kelby, on that lieutenant governor's race. he is second. You get what I'm saying?
No, this is no, that was Vermilion Parish. So any particular race this person wants to know in Vermilion Parish?
I can ask if you watching, Mr. Terry, this is your comment. Do you have any particular race you're looking for in Vermilion Parish? If you can go ahead and message us, comment on there, and we can go ahead and get you. There is a sheriff's race out there too. That which looks like Mr. Eddie is going to go ahead and pull that off.
Jude Savoy, Big Jude Savoy.
Clerk of Court, Mr. Broussard, no, Diane Broussard, correction, my bad. But that looks like it's gonna go ahead. He says sheriff and clerk of court. So we just talked about that.
So it looks like Eddie Langlanay is in the lead, 51%, 5,300 votes. Lance Broussard is in second, 36%, and Preston Summers in the third. Clerk of court, Diane Moe, Broussard, 59, almost 6,000 votes. And Jude Savoy, 4,500 votes, give or take. And 28 of the 66 precincts have been reported. All of early voting as well.
That sheriff race, I think, is pretty close. So
we'll have to. We need some more results, and I'm not really familiar with Vermilion Parish too much. Let's go ahead and get statewide though, because we are about to bring in Senator Guillory and Lieutenant Governor's race. Billy Nungesser has been reelected according to multiple sources. LSU also did beat Auburn as well. So,
Mr. Guillory is on the phone right now. 1 second. Mr. Guillory, how you doing, sir?
Very well. How are you?
Doing well, sir. How's everything at the party?
Oh, the party is going well. The food is great. The company is excellent. We did not do as well as we thought we might tonight, but trying to run a campaign on a shoestring budget is not a wise thing to do.
Kelby, you can go ahead and ask your question if you have one.
No, I don't have any questions, Senator. Welcome. Good to talk to you again. How do you feel about everyone just reelected? Billy, you had obviously some disagreements with the lieutenant governor on anything. What's next for you? What's kind of the mood?
Here we are fighting a battle for good and for change, necessary change. That battle continues. Tonight's loss is just a glitch in a much larger war. This battle has been lost, but we prepare for the next battle. But the war goes on. We must change Louisiana.
I agree. Did you speak with the lieutenant governor tonight?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Mr. Guillory, where you go from here? Unfortunately, this race was not meant for you to be lieutenant governor at this time. Where you go from here? Do you know? Do you try to advise? Where's your next endeavor?
First, I'm going to get some rest. And after about 3 or 4 days of rest, because this has been a long and bruising 18-month crusade. After a few days of rest, I'm going to sit down with my team, and the team's in good spirits. We are all ready to move on to the next step. So we'll make some decisions about how we're going to proceed, and the battle continues.
Yeah, and I know Sheila and Cheryl worked very hard. I love them too. You got a great team for sure. If we could kind of just change subjects, so what you think with the governor's race? Currently, the attorney general is up 52%. What you think about that? You've been in politics for a very long time, and you've got pretty good insights.
That is not a surprise at all. I expected that Jeff would win, and expected that he would win handily, and he did. So or is certainly leading her at this point. So, not a surprise at all. And I believe that he will be a good governor for Louisiana.
And the closest Republican is Stephen Waggesback. But if you look at the percentage wise, John and Wags, they're virtually at a tie right now. And the only other person that can probably catch Jeff will be Sean Wilson.
That is correct.
But so on a different note, how was the party over there?
The party is going very well. The spirits are high. We had some very, very good food, and camaraderie is excellent. Morale is very, very good. So we're just preparing for the next step.
Yes, sir. And again, Mr. Guillory, sorry for the loss, but there was some good things about this. You got to hang out with me and Kelby a lot of times, and we got to work together.
That is the truth. This has been fun. I must tell you, very seriously. Number one, I gained about 8 pounds because I've eaten my way across Louisiana. I've met a lot of great people, learned a lot about the state that I didn't know before. I now know, for example, how bad our roads and bridges are. Can you imagine in the richest country in the world, the country that has just built a great new superhighway in Afghanistan at the cost of billions and billions of dollars. The country that's dumping right now hundreds of billions of dollars into Ukraine can't fix its own roads, can't get people to work, can't get people to the hospital. We have to do better.
And we're pushing to be better, Mr. Guillory. But Mr. Guillory, is there anything you want to tell anybody that's maybe listening right now? We have a few listeners spread all across 3 platforms. What do you tell these people about just your final statement?
Louisiana is in bad straits right now. We're at the bottom of every good list and at the top of every bad list. We must change this. No matter what else happens in this country, we must lead Louisiana to a brighter future and to a more godly existence. So I'm committed to that. My team is committed to that war, and we will be fighting it regardless of what happens tonight.
Sir, and we need fighters like you, and we plan on fighting right on the side of you, Mr. Guillory.
Thank you so much. I love both of you gentlemen. Thank you.
Same here,
my brother, and have a good night.
You have a good one, Mr. Guillory.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Bye. Bye. So that was Mr. Albert Guillory, unfortunately falling short of the lieutenant governor's position. But Kelby, on that note of lieutenant governor, there's some things I disagree with Billy on, but he has done a great job as lieutenant governor on as for tourism and helping us out in that part.
Yeah, Billy, Lieutenant Governor's done a great job, and he's a really nice guy. So we do have a KLFY is reporting that there will be a runoff in the Lafayette Mayor President's race between Mayor President Josh Guillory and Monique Blanco-Boulier.
And remember earlier we was talking about it was weird to see Josh Guillory losing, but apparently all of his supporters waiting until election day to go vote for him.
Well, yeah, I mean, and he does. I mean, there's Republican voters; they do vote election day. You did. Kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, but I'm not surprised to see that. I mean, they wounded Josh leading up to this. That's how she got to say all the corrupt and all that kind of thing, all those things. It will be interesting to see what Jan Swift supporters do. 14,000. I mean, that's pretty decent. Still a little more to come in Lafayette, but it's pretty much a done deal at this point. I don't suspect Jan Swift endorsing Josh. Now, crazy things have happened, but I think she will go ahead and support Josh, and that's what's going to happen. We'll take a quick look statewide. at some of the other races happening. The Secretary of State's race hasn't happened, hasn't been called yet, but I'm going to suspect that probably Nancy Landry is going to be in the runoff with Gwen Collins Greenup, and Mike Francis is just going to miss it. Same thing with Clay Schecksteiner. They're just going to miss that second spot, and that's kind of what's to be expected in a sense. Marty Maley getting about 65,000 votes, but Liz really going in on, really, coalescing and riding Jeff's coattails. I mean, not a dig on her. I don't blame her. You do what you have to do to win. And I'm thinking, just depending on, we'll kind of leave some things. I'm thinking Jeff's going to win tonight.
It's looking like it. It's looking now. I'm surprised that Liz isn't going to win tonight, though, because you said she's running on the coattails. And look, don't get me wrong. There was a lot less. There weren't that many people running for Attorney General. But Marty ran a good campaign. You had John Stefanski. They were known across the state. So that's right there. I think is playing a big role in that. But the way the numbers are looking, it depends on New Orleans Parish, though, because Orleans Parish, because New Orleans in general as well. We're gonna have to see those numbers as they come out later on tonight. But we're waiting on Chad. We told Chad he can give us a call back, so we're just waiting on Chad to give us a call.
I just texted Blaine Prejean, asked him if he got the numbers from the box. We still haven't reported any numbers. We still don't have any numbers reporting from the Secretary of State on that, any box numbers. So they post him at the box, and I'm sure he went check them.
We can check with Ben Clay as well.
Well, I don't have Ben's number.
I got Ben's number.
Well, if you want to go ahead and do that, that's cool
that as well. So.
Let me see Chris Corville.
Yeah, I just text him, and we're gonna see if Blaine or Ben can give us some insight on that. Well, look, while we waiting on that, Kelby, what about the races in St. Martin Parish that ran on the polls? The big one was St. Martin Parish Sheriff Beckett Bro. Ran out of polls, talked to Sheriff Beckett a few times in the last couple of weeks, and Sheriff Beckett is, he's thanking everybody for trusting him and people not stepping in to run against him to continue doing the work he's doing.
Yeah, I agree. Beckett's done a good job, and good. Let's talk about what's happening tonight.
Hold on 1 second. We do have a question. Mr. Terry asked us about the state representatives. He said he don't know if we discussed it yet, but I think that's in Vermilion Parish. I don't know what state representative seat you're looking at. So
probably
we can go look.
I think David Eaton that district had a little bit of a million, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, right at the moment, David Eaton is losing to Jacob Landry, and it was a big. It was
yeah, you see that district. Yeah. So let's just say 31 and 49 are in Vermilion Parish.
Well, 31 is Alan Seabold. No, that's not Alan Seabold's spot. That's Alan Seabold old spot. Yeah, that's the state rep side.
Okay, so that's Jonathan Godot and Troy Hebert. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I forgot about that race. Jonathan,
and then we have 40. What was it? I can't read my own hand.
49.
49.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 49. And then Jacob Landry's winning that. Probably will win it tonight.
Yeah. So those two state rep seats will probably be called. And look, I'm surprised Troy Hebert is doing that well of a job over there in 39. The reason I'm saying that is because Jonathan Gudo, I believe, is he an incumbent or, I'm not sure.
Jonathan Gudo, I don't know. So I did get some information from Blaine Prejean, and they did go look at the box, and he said it's not good.
Okay. So, but on that note, look, Blaine and Ben are two great guys. I will repeat what Chris said earlier. That position would be good for either one of them. And Ben has some good connections with the sheriff as well, though. And Ben has been part of the community for a while. Blaine has too. So we'll just have to see how that ends out.
Yeah, I agree. Corey is going to win that, as expected. Corey Melanson in District 6.
So tonight, the way he's looking, we're still waiting on some numbers to come in. District 9, District 8, District 7, District 6 is all the districts besides District 3 is probably going to be good. They're not going to go into no runoffs. We can Kelby, are you safe to say we can call the clerk of courts brace?
No, not yet.
Not yet. You don't think?
I'm not calling it.
But okay, so KLFY just made the announcement. They're kind of late, but Lafayette Mayor President race heads to a runoff. So,
Chris Corville says he won.
Chris Corville on
District 9.
Yeah, and that's pretty. That race was pretty split up right there. It was a good lead.
Beat an incumbent, you better believe it.
Yeah. Oh, let's see what's going on. That's St. Martin Parish right here that we're looking at.
Yeah. Let's check out Blake's race. We haven't seen that one in a minute.
Yeah, that's something that we need to look at. That looks like it's going to Blake.
Blake's gonna win that tonight.
Blake's gonna win that tonight. That's.
I mean, it just depends on though. It depends on where the numbers are, the outstanding. That's where it's going to depend on. But I don't see
So I'm gonna say this: St. Martin Parish is where Blake is under.
But then again, it's like, okay, well, where are you going to find 5,000 votes to catch this up?
You're not, and that's
you could. Don't know we don't know where the votes remain, but you could, but unlikely, depending on where the votes remain. I mean, if it's still if there's a lot of vote, which that tells me there's probably a lot of vote left out in St. Martinville. In the areas that are in the district. So, that could definitely go to Melinda a little bit, but it's looking good for Blake.
Can you believe Melinda has 12% of the vote though? I'm just saying with everything that has gone on in St. Martinville.
Melinda is a narcissist. She is. She's a narcissist.
Yeah.
Horrible mayor, right? Her husband screwed her up a lot of times too. Cutting up. Nice person. I hear very good things about her. But she's one of those people. She likes to parade and she likes to go out and she likes to vote, get the voters and all this stuff. Talk to the voters and all this stuff. Horrible mayor, wasn't reelected as mayor, and you think people are going to elect you as senator?
No.
Make that make sense.
And especially with Blake Miguez and Hugh Andre running. Because, look, Hugh right now only got 21% of the votes. But at the same time, Hugh is a big name around here as well. Because the Canefields, him wrestling and all that stuff. Hugh Andre is a big name. So, I don't know where I don't know where in the District 22 she got 12% of the votes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but Jeff just went up right there too, man. That's a whoo.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I told you. I said there would be some surprise.
And look, we're having a lot of complete results in here too. Look at all the parishes in yellow.
Yeah, those. Who cares about them?
Orleans Parish 9%, man. So let's see. We got some numbers from Ben Clay. And yeah, man, it's a big number. Big difference in for the numbers right now. It's not looking good for Blaine Prajo in District 8.
What are the numbers? I mean, the numbers should have been posted.
Yeah. So it's Ben had 1,033 and Blaine had 773.
Damn, that's a lot of people.
So that's the numbers that we
Ben won.
Yeah, I'm guessing with the percentage wise and stuff like that. yeah, it's it's probably safe to say Ben Clay will be the next District 8 councilman for St. Martin Parish. And I don't know what's the holdup for numbers, because we only have 530 reporting right now.
So what was his number again?
1033 and 773 for Blaine.
Okay, so he won with 1,360. His early voting and his election day voting, and then Blaine has 203, and then so 203 plus 773.
Yeah.
So
Ben has 1033. So I don't know if I said the wrong number or what.
10, which is it? 1033?
Yeah, 1033.
Yeah, that sounds more like it. Plus 327, that's 1,360. That's weird how that did that, huh? Okay.
Which is a two-person race. So Ben Clay is, if according to those numbers, he would be the representative for District 8 in the council.
Yeah. So it's so pretty much we'll probably have two statewide elected women. Potentially Nancy Landry or Gwen. Nancy will win handedly, and Liz Murrow is going to win over the Democrat challenger handedly.
Yep. But now this raises a question too, though, Kelby. And look, I agree with you. I think both of them will win hands down. But if the governor's race is decided tonight, we thought turnout was bad this time. Could you imagine turnout in the runoff election in November?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's always like that, right? The low turnout always usually benefits the bad candidates. I mean, that's just how it is. And
so this ain't no surprise.
Wow.
Jeff Landry in St. Martin Parish got 72% of the vote. That ain't no shocker right there.
Well, no, I mean he's from St. Martinville, so.
But let's talk about Hunter Lundy. Hunter Lundy spent a lot of money, dude, and he only
they get 50,000 people to vote for him.
Yeah, that's just And look, hey, his political ads were all over the place, dude.
They were good too.
They were excellent. It's just man, it's hard to run against Jeff Landry. That's already known all over the state. He has a reputation, and it's
hard to run against a machine, right? You had the LA GOP machine, and you had all that stuff. I mean, the councilman earlier was right. It's hard to run against a machine.
Now I got a question.
Tonight. I mean, there are machines in St. Martin Parish, right? The machine was against Blaine.
Yeah.
How to run the machine would have probably been against me too. That's how it works.
And that's how it works. But now at the same time, though, we have some like Stephen Wagaspack, man. Great. I see him running again as governor or getting some position in the state of Louisiana to where he still has an influence. John Schroeder ain't going nowhere.
No, Schroeder's done.
You think he's done?
Or he told me.
Yeah. Okay.
He's done. After this, Schroeder's got a very nice life.
Yeah.
Schroeder and Miss Ellie, they do well, and they're happy people. He'd probably be so happier right now. Schroeder, I mean, look, it was a decision. I remember him. We were talking as he was making the decision, waiting on freaking John Kennedy to make a decision on what he was going to do, and it was either he was going to run. He wasn't running for re-election. That was the thing. He either was going to run for governor or he was going to not run for re-election. That was the two decisions that he was making. And he decided to run, and that's that good. Schroeder's good.
In that word though, man, that's gonna be sad to see him not be there no more, because he did do a good job as the treasurer of Louisiana as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and he was a good state representative, and he'd have been a hell of a good governor. But again, he's not. Jeff is the flashy object that everybody, went on to. And, if Jeff ends up winning tonight, congratulations. I mean, Jeff, look, Jeff worked for it.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Jeff worked for it. In a sense, though, he was not where he should have been. He worked for it. I mean, and he, he.
Now, that's interesting. The treasurer's position. That's the statewide you're looking at?
No, it's I want to see real quick. We have no movement.
Well, we had some movement in the council races. Yeah, I saw some numbers, some precincts coming in. Well, for District 3 is done. So I don't know what's going on in District 8, but District 3.
Yeah, District 3.
That's a runoff.
Tangi and Glenn.
That's a runoff right there. So that's the only runoff that we're gonna have in St. Martin Parish, unless it's a statewide election that we got. Well, and even that is only the people in District 3 that's gonna go to the runoff to be voting that day.
Yep, and then Chris beat an incumbent according to him, and I have no reason to doubt he read them numbers wrong.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So Kelby, we were scheduled till 10 o'clock, but I can go a little bit longer if you want to go.
Yeah, that's fine. Are we trying to get Chad on?
Yeah, I tried reaching out, and Chad's probably at a party talking to somebody, so
Yeah, that's fine. I don't. It don't matter to me. I promise you. See, yeah, it's
Also, if you're a candidate that's listening, if you want to jump on, you got my number, got Kelby's number, or go in the comments, say, hey, let me on. We'll put you on as well. Because it's it's getting to that point to where we're starting to see Kelby. I don't know who your source was earlier, but yeah, it looked like Jeff is going to take this tonight. That's I have my. Them numbers when you play fantasy football and you're about to win, but the numbers keeps going up until it hits about 100. I'm probably at 80 right now.
Well, the problem is the Republicans. Somebody told me, okay, I'll tell you the story. I voted for John Schroeder, and no regrets, by the way. And I knew that how tonight was going to go for Schroeder. But he told me, well, you shouldn't have wasted your vote, and you should have voted for Wags. Okay, well,
Wags is in the same position.
Wags is the same position, right? They're all. Let's do the math. 59, 610. Schroeder's got 54, 391. Where's Sharon? Over here, Sharon. Abysmal, 17,000. 4.
You can even put Richard Nelson's numbers 3,480.
No, that's no worries. Okay, and then we'll throw Hunter Lundy in there because he's a viable. Okay, everybody's at 50. Pretty much. Okay. That's 181. Okay. Not even 200,000.
No.
Okay. And Jeff is at 528,000. It wasn't enough. Right. Even with all of them, all four of them totaled up as we stand currently is still at.
I want to ask a question after you do the numbers, because let's put those numbers to Sean Wilson. I don't even think
at a 130,000 deficit.
So this is what I'm about to ask you too, though. If you add on Wilson's numbers, that still won't be Jeff. You get what I'm saying?
Wilson underperformed. I mean, Wilson underperformed. Okay, let's go take a trip down memory lane. Okay,
let's go ahead.
Let's do, because a lot of politics is what happened before. Right. So this is what we had before. Okay. This is what we got now. This is what we got now. This is what we had before. Okay. A lot of candidates. Same thing. A lot of candidates. Jeff has now exceeded everybody
on the board
on election day. Okay. right? He exceeded Vitter. He exceeded Angel handedly. He exceeded John Bel Edwards, the Democrat. So look at John Bel Edwards' number, 400,000. And then you could come over here and you look at Sean Wilson's number, which is 260, right? And I don't know where the vote remains. Okay, I don't know where the vote remains. It doesn't matter where the vote remains at this point.
Oh,
You know, because he underperformed John Bell. I'm going to tell you right now, and I didn't want to say it. I've been refraining from saying it. But Sean Wilson, his skin color is unfortunately playing a big role into this. And I'm not one of those conservatives that are scared to point out and say that there are not problems still in this country, because there are.
yeah,
And
there he is.
We're seeing it. And that's what's going on.
Well, you know what didn't help Sean Wilson either,
Like that too.
because this is let's look at that in the spiritual side as well. You know, there's a lot of Roman Catholics and a lot of religious people in the state of Louisiana. John Bel Edwards got a lot of votes because he went out there and says, look, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-gun. Yeah, every other thing that he believed was left-leaning, but he made sure his campaign brought out, we're pro-life, we're pro-gun. John Wilson, on the other hand, went on television and these debates and was trying to sugarcoat it, but he couldn't sugarcoat it because he was pro-choice. And there's a lot of blue dog Democrats out here in the state of Louisiana that are more conservative.
So we have completed. By the way, we have completed results in St. Martin, so we'll be able to just call them real quickly.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Let's see who won and who did not. So Laura Blanchard won.
Is the clerk of court.
Big time. She's the clerk of court elect, and she blew everybody out the water. It is going to be a runoff between Pete Delcom and Dean LeBlanc, a very close race, 40-36. Pete Delcom exceeded my expectations, and good for him. Almost 6,000 votes, and Dean 5,200.
Look at District 1, dude.
So District 1, that's going to be a recount because 899, that's going to be a recount.
We can't say that's a virtual tie. That's a tie.
It is a tie. It's a tie. And the turnout, by the way, 40%.
And that's
disgusting.
That is disgusting. Man.
Let's see. District 6, Corey Melanson, my colleague on the committee, won against Mark Thibodeau. Vincent Alexander will be reelected to the parish council. The numbers. So he gave you the total right there, 1,330.
Okay, so that was the total.
He gave you the total. So 1,333 to Blaine Prejean, 783. So congratulations to Ben. And Chris Corville, probably the most impressive dude of the night.
Yep.
804. He beat an incumbent, Daniel Richard, 765. A good, nice, comfortable margin, 51-49. I will say he was an Ignite client at the very end. I don't take credit for this, and I don't honestly blame too. Was an Ignite client, but at the very end, they all worked hard. This is Blaine's first try, and I tell you what, I hope he don't get discouraged, and I hope he continues to just do what he's got to do. Blaine's still young and run for something else.
Well, and let's talk about District 8, because look, I know both these guys right here. I sat down with both of them. Great guys. Me and Blaine, we go back because of construction. Ben, helped me out with some legal stuff. Guys, these are I'm gonna say District 8 is if you are a Blaine supporter, don't think, oh wow, Ben, no, both these men would have done a good job as a councilman, and I'm proud of both of them. They ran by far one of the cleanest races I have ever seen. There was no back talking, there was no trash talking publicly. Look, I commend both these guys. Congratulations to Ben and also to Blaine, on a great race. They did a good job. Kelby, that was, like I said, that was one of the cleaner races out of this whole election cycle.
Yeah, I agree. Just checking in somebody else.
And going back to even the parish president's race, hey, Pete and Dean, real good friends. They both ran a good clean race, and I can't wait to see going forward with them, right, going forward into the runoff, how that's gonna look.
Look, Pete surprised a lot of people. You know, he surprised me tonight. Blake Miguez is the winner, by the way. He's the new senator elect for District 22. 61% of the vote.
Oh, that's awesome. So we can call that Blake Miguez is the. And look, dude, a lot of people thought that Hugh would go into a runoff with Blake. I never seen that, dude.
Well, you can hire impressions, and you can lose, and you can get 6,000. I can't wait to look at the report and see how much money he gave those two idiots. And I bet you they printed that dude some koozies. They printed him all kind of stuff. Higher impressions, that's what you get. I hate those people. They're so like they're leeches. That's what they are. They're leeches.
So how about Alan Seaball's spot? Let's go check 31 right here. It looked like Alan
Seaball won. He's the new senator, Alan Seaball.
And look, Kelby, on a different note, those are two great people moving into the Senate. And I don't know who's coming in after them, but like Chad Boyer is taking 46th spot. We know Jacob Landry is going into the 49th spot. They got some good people that's going to be taking up the mantle for Blake and Allen. But that's some gains in the Senate side.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Dustin Miller reelected. Dustin Miller's pretty good. I like Dustin.
Hands down, dude. That was just
Tommy Chasson is going to be the new state representative in District 44. It's a Lafayette one. Jacob Landry probably will win tonight.
Let's look at 64. Because we interviewed Miss Kelly Alford. I wanted to see how she did in that. Ooh,
terrible. She lost third.
Well, no, that could be possible runoff because no one made over 50%.
49. Yeah, they're gonna squeeze it over. They're gonna recount it.
Yeah, that's a close margin right there because all the precincts came in. So right now it looks like it's gonna be a runoff.
Could be.
Jamie Pope unfortunately will not make the runoff.
Oh, poor Jamie. God.
Yeah, it just. And look, man, we got two Republicans there. Now we have to ask the questions though in that seat. Brandon Ivy or Miss Lauren Vellator. I'm guessing that's how you say her name. Ventrella. So we're gonna have to look at that race and see who's the more conservative out of those two.
Well. Who knows?
Let's see this.
Hold on, I want to see something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to see if the parish president, Melinda White, lost. Nope, in a runoff. Melinda White's former state rep. I think she wanted to shoot Alan Seaball, I
believe. What about District 70? State Rep District 71. This is some interviews we had, and I want to look at those races. Mr. Wally Avatar. Let's see. 71. Man, God. So he didn't make the runoff as well. And look, real good guy, man. Mr. Willie was a real good.
Wally. It's Wally.
Wally. I just got to remember.
Willie Avarera.
And he dogged me on that too, man. But but that was it, man. And that's all. That's some of the candidates we had, and unfortunately, majority of the candidates we interviewed did make, except Miss Kelly Alford, which she is still one of the most viewed videos on my YouTube channel. So go check that out. But yeah, I'm really hoping that. And look, it's close, Kelby. 63 out of the 64 parishes already reported their early absentees, and we're only 2,000 precincts away. Arlene Parish reported yet for governor? Because I like to leave out and know who's the governor at least. I don't know if they've record in.
Well, nobody's called it. Right, nobody's called it yet, and that means there's some reservation. Let's just see how Jefferson Parish looks, and then we can go over to Orleans. You see, now let's do this. Let's see how this looked 8 years ago. See, that's how that looked 8 years ago, right? David Vitter, John Bell Edwards, a strong second place. David Vitter was from there. That's just why he got 4,000 more votes. And then you could see Sean Wilson, 22,000, Jeff, 34. So Jeff is doing right on par with Vitter and will exceed that probably, a little bit, tiny bit. But as you can see, there's about a 10,000 vote deficit from John Bell Edwards in Jefferson Parish this time around. And look, you may ask the question, well, why are you bringing up the two? Well, the thing is, you've got two Democrats, John Bell, Sean Wilson, and I'm going to consider Sean Wilson a moderate compared to what the party has now nationally. Sean Wilson's a moderate. There's no doubt about it. But just underperforming John Bell Edwards numbers.
And like I said, because you notice, Kelby, with Sean Wilson, they didn't have that push for Republicans voting for the Democrat. So you remember
they didn't have that. They didn't have that push for John Bell until the runoff.
Correct. And
so that's where, that's where it needed to happen the most. I mean, because there were Republicans for John Bell Edwards. I mean, I remember that like there was like it was yesterday. And that's because David Vitter was like I said on your show the other day, he's very nasty to his Republican opponents. And, people remember that. The same thing, I'm sure there were the same Republicans for John Bell Edwards didn't, remained. And I'm sure there was some Abraham supporters who became some John Bell Edwards supporters.
Right.
Just because of the nastiness from Eddie Rispone. So, that stuff happens. People don't understand. It's not about feelings. It's about what's best for the country. Sarah Guillory realized he lost earlier and said, the fight continues. I lost, but we still have to continue to do better. He didn't say, well, I support everything opposite of Billy or whatever. So you have to continue to maintain. Just because you lose an election, you have to continue to fight. You have to continue what you believe in. And a lot of people, they don't believe that concept, or they just don't care. And they're so butthurt and upset about it. They, go with the other guy. So, I mean, this is Orleans. Just look at this.
Yeah.
Crap ton of people in Orleans Parish. And this is what we have.
Only 41,000 votes for Sean. What was those numbers back when John Bell won that parish? Because that's a big, look, John
55.9, so you could say 56,000. 56,000.
And look, when I say Sean Wilson was a bad candidate, when you can't get the same amount of people to vote for you in Orleans Parish that you got the previous Democrat governor, that's
Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff is exceeding Republican numbers.
Yeah, because I know that. I was about to say, I know that ain't true. 5,000 some votes.
82. So Jeff is, kind of on par, but, you have, Schroeder and everybody's going to do well because they're from around that area, in New Orleans. But no, I mean,
the
issue was not enthusiasm, right? There's no enthusiasm for Sean. There was no, there's no enthusiasm, and the turnout is low. You know, that's what you have.
Yeah, and we're gonna pull up the screen a little bit more. Just Kelby, a fun night, dude. It was, a lot of surprises. I hope you don't mind us staying longer because I really want to see if they call that governor's race while we're on the air. And I got time. I don't know if you got time, but I just, those numbers, man. They just looking at the number. I am surprised. I really thought Jeff was gonna go into a runoff, but it's just a long night. Now I'm still waiting to see if we get Chad Hardy back on. I'm gonna text him and see if he's still calling or what, but it's I like to get his perspective on a couple of these numbers.
Chad and Jeff go way back.
Yeah.
They do.
But I would like to, man. I don't know if anybody's at the Blake Miguez party. They're probably having a big party right now, knowing that Blake's gonna go ahead and carry the vote. I've texted Blake, but Blake's probably busy right now. And look, I got a question actually because we talked about this race, and we talked about Hugh possibly giving Blake run for his money. Were you surprised to see those numbers with Blake?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I always knew that it would be in Blake's favor, but I don't understand why everybody got so desperate and why they saw Hugh with such a threat. That always puzzled me.
Well, I guess maybe it was the signs. It was, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? But I will say this though, for Hugh did spend a lot of money. And with the coverage of political signs that he did, it just maybe it's safer than sorry because Blake would have said, let's not worry about Hugh. Let's go ahead, and he took it for granted. Maybe people would have said, well, he already thought he won, and we didn't even have an election yet. So there are probably a lot of factors in why they did this, and also
look. And I hope Hugh Andre runs for something else.
What do you see him running for?
Not easy running for something. It's not easy coming to that conclusion. Trust me.
So I got a question. Where do you see Hugh going from here, though? Do you see maybe Hugh running for some in maybe like a local capacity? Try to get some background because it's hard to run, Kelby. When your phrase is, "Hey, I'm a farmer and I never been a politician."
No, let me tell you something. You don't run for office. Like if you got Donald Trump kind of money, you don't run for office.
I agree with
you. When you have Hugh Andre money, you don't run for office, right? You go to Vegas, you go to the Bahamas, you go to Hawaii, you go to Europe, you go to Australia. Okay, that's where you go.
No, but even that,
but
in it.
Hold on, there's a but though. But you also feel the need to serve your community.
I agree with you on that. I agree, and that's why I asked you. Do you think it's a? Do you see maybe Hugh going into a capacity of, like maybe a mayor or a council member somewhere?
No, and he don't need to do that. Honestly, he don't need to do that. I don't know what Hugh is going to do. I don't know. That's for Hugh to decide. I don't think he probably needs to catch up on some rest.
Oh yeah, well, like Albert said earlier, hey, just go ahead and take a couple of days off and take a week off because look. Now, granted, Albert had a lot more ground to cover because it's a statewide election. But dude, Hugh's been all over the parish as well, man. And it was cook-offs and stuff like that. It was a big night. It was it didn't go his way, but at the same time, he gained some support, dude. I just
Jeff Landry will be the next governor.
He just called it.
WBR KLFY and KLFY is reporting that Jeff will be the next governor.
So did all well. So there's only maybe like a little
They're
under.
making a projection, but I mean, you don't. Who can catch up? Nobody.
Nobody. So this is the biggest story of the evening for us. Then, Jeff, because we went into the night thinking, hey, there's gonna be a runoff. Sean Wilson, Jeff Landry. It just shows how popular Jeff Landry is. So now I don't know if you want to give some thoughts.
So hold on, going back to Hugh real quick because I did pull up something.
Okay.
Impressions marketing got $14,490. $3,200, $1,200, $900 dollars, right? So they probably got about $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 out of Hugh Andre. And they got him 6,000 votes.
1,000 votes, man. That's I wonder if I could find. I wanted you have to want that Jeff got to be given a victory speech somewhere.
Yeah, probably. I assume so.
Let's see. Over right here, and let's see if we can find anything.
Okay, I don't know this new update, but it's like hard to catch the little thing.
So you said KLFY called it.
Yeah.
Jeff Landry will be the next governor of the state of Louisiana.
That's what I said.
Go ahead and pull while you're looking for your.
I hate to be the bearer, but I'm just joking.
No, dude, like you said it on the show. If Jeff Landry would have won, or went into a runoff, you would vote Jeff Landry. So
yeah, sure.
You can't. Do we agree everything with Jeff Landry? No, but at the same.
Is there any way to catch my
audio? If you're on your computer, I can just put it up. Okay. Why did I do that? Oh, wrong way. I have all the audio up. You would have to turn on your audio on your end.
Yeah.
Look in the box. There might be a speaker inside the video. That's Jeff Landry right there giving a. That's on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can get it on my side.
Can you hear it?
I can hear it from my side of my computer. Let's see. W. E. All right, there it is. Go ahead and remove this out. All right, let's see.
He won. Why is he angry? That's what you're getting, folks. Why is he still angry? He won. We're not hearing no audio, by the way.
Not hearing the audio?
You might have to share the
I got the audio in here, so
yeah, but is there any way to share? Because I know in like teams at work, we have to share the computer audio.
Yeah. So you having trouble hearing it?
I don't hear anything from him.
We're not gonna worry about that, then. Anyway, Jeff Landry is the governor of the great state of Louisiana. That was his victory speech a little bit. I don't know if anybody could hear it. If you could hear it in the comments, let me know. But yeah, so Jeff Landry. Big night for him, man. Big night for Jeff. I Kelby, calm down.
I knew how this was going to work.
Yeah, but what's the surprise though, Kelby? I don't think we thought it would be this type of victory going into it. Because
no, I mean, it could have been either way. I kind of had a feeling, though, when the numbers came in, it was the lead was the way it was. We'll have time to go ahead and analyze the.
Now we know it's official.
What?
Now we know it's official. Fox News projects. Fox News projects that Jeff Landry is the winner.
Because they see it as a flip. It's a flip.
Yeah, it's a flip. But man, dude.
How's Twitter doing? I haven't checked Twitter all night.
Want to go ahead and put it up on the screen or what?
No, you don't want to see my Twitter. I lied. Okay. Let me see if John Bell Edwards said anything. Look, I hope Jeff can
Going back to what I was saying earlier.
Just let me say this on the record. I hope the governor-elect can, he sounded very angry. I don't know why. He won. That's
He's
number one.
excited, man. He's excited.
No, he's angry. He's angry. And I don't know why they're angry. If they're going to go ahead and get the governor's office and start taking things personal and remember everybody who did not vote for him, then, that's not a leader, right? So I don't know. Maybe I just heard a bad part of the speech. I don't know. Maybe the audio was wrong or something. I don't know. I wish him the best. The man's got a mess on his hands, right? Any woman or man who was going to be taking that job was going to have a mess on their hands. And he certainly signed up for it, and he got it. I'm interested to see what happens. And you got to give him a chance, right? You got to give him a chance. And if you don't like the way he's voted, then you have to take him out next time.
And this is where I'm gonna come with a point like this, because look, I might get some flack back for this, but I didn't vote for Jeff Landry. I voted for Stephen Wagerspack. There was some issues, but it was very close.
I voted for Jeff Landry. I voted for Jeff Landry.
Now you're gonna vote? No, but
voted Jeff Landry right here. I voted for him.
On this note, though, he is a conservative governor. He will be 10 times better than John Bell Edwards.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that until you've seen him do whatever he's doing.
I agree with you, but just
you don't know what he's gonna do.
I think just on the front, he's probably going to be better because if he sticks to his
listen. Remember what I told you. What I told you on your podcast a few days ago. He took millions from the trial lawyers,
and this is why
it's not conservative.
And this is why I voted for Wax.
That's why I don't trust him. We will see what he will do.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. But if he sticks to the policies that he went ahead and pushed through, like he was
taking money from the trial lawyers. So I don't understand.
I'm saying that if according to his plan, if you look at his plan, if he sticks to that, he's going to do good. But and if it works, because you could write anything on paper and make it look good, but it got to work out, So Kelby, we went 30 minutes over. It's normal for us to go over our schedule in time, but I wanted to end on that. I wanted to end to make sure we got the governor. Let's go ahead and look before we go out of here, Kelby, for one more time. Let's look at the numbers for the statewide races and see how we're gonna go. Because we're gonna be doing this again next month. For the runoff elections, and that will not hold governorship.
No, right. So you're talking about a low turnout tonight. Wait till you see next time.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Let's go ahead and do a quick recap before we end tonight. Jeff Landry is the governor-elect of the great state of Louisiana. He will become the next governor, winning in the first round with 4 legitimate Republican opponents, a legitimate Democrat, and a legitimate independent. The votes were split up apart. Maybe if you add everybody up together, it might have given one Republican a fighting chance against Jeff. Probably wouldn't have mattered. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser will remain in his post as the current lieutenant governor. He's been reelected. Big landslide, 66% of the vote. The Secretary State's race that is going into a runoff. Did they make that official? I'm not sure. I cannot remember.
I haven't heard anything on my end.
But according to this, and if they call the governor's race, and that means they're probably going to call this one according to the same. Very, very, very close. It looks like it will be Former State Representative Nancy Landers, she's the current first assistant secretary, and Democrat Gwen Greenup. So
only 100 some votes. No, not 100 some votes. Probably 1,000 some votes separated.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big number.
Yeah. Let's continue. Attorney General Liz Muriel will be in a runoff with Democrat Lindsey Cheek. Will not be much competition. She beat off a couple other opponents. Stefanski, State Representative Stefanski, 170,946, and Attorney Marty Maley, 73,766. The treasurer's race is going to a runoff. Former Congressman and Trump advisor Dr. John Fleming will be in a runoff with Democrat Dustin Granger, and Scott McKnight, State Representative, soon to be former State Representative, will come in and finish up that race at third place. Let's take a quick peek.
Before we roll out, we will have Chad Hardy call in. He said he was going to give us a call so that we can end the night out with him as well, looking over these numbers.
Did he call officially and tell you that, or we're just...
He just texted the group chat that we and you have.
Okay.
So I say, yeah, you can call. We're just waiting on his phone call at the moment, but you're doing a recap right now. So
yeah, we'll quickly do the recap. Quickly in St. Martin Parish, we'll just take a look in St. Martin Parish and see what's going on there in the local races. And the first thing up, Clerk of Court, Laura Blanchard will be elected. That she will be the next clerk, winning an astounding 10,031 votes. The parish president race will be in a runoff. Pete Delcom on top, 4% on top. That is 5942. Coming in second place, Councilman Dean LeBlanc at 5,200. So that's going into a runoff right now.
It's going to be a big runoff. It's going to be a big runoff in St. Martin Parish.
Yep.
So
and a tie. Byron Fugely and Hoyt Louvier apparently got the same number. That might be a glitch. So just keep that in mind.
So with that being said, we have Mr. Chad Hardy on the line, fellow RPEC member.
Chad.
Live on I-10, eastbound, heading home.
Oh, he's heading home.
Jeff Landry is your governor on the first ballot. What are your thoughts?
Oh, honestly shocked. Honestly, they I don't think African Americans felt energized enough about Sean Wilson. You know, you make up 33% of the vote in liberal, liberal progressive base. Can't get to a runoff. I mean, you don't have the right candidate. Plus, when you're fighting with the third party and the party, and let's say fighting, when you have the Landers for Louisiana, Cajun Pack 2, and the party and all the outside interests with Parliament's Citizens United, probably I would say when it's all said and done, on behalf of Jeff Landers and his fundraising efforts, and the third party probably spend, I would say, at least $20 million. All said and done. Got to be at least 12 to 15. Well, I was like, 16 to 18.
All the Republicans, real quick, Chad. All the Republicans total together would be 136,828. So it wasn't even close. Like splitting up the votes, everybody's worried splitting up the votes.
Right.
It wasn't even close.
Well,
but you're right. That's what $20 million will get you.
20 million, bro.
And the trial lawyers and big business and everybody, you name it.
That was beyond my comprehension, and not so much so. But I'm gonna speak out about. I'm gonna have my case in it so that I want I guess you'd say the unofficial endorsements and the financial backing of the trial lawyers with the Republican, who's comes from an off-field background and a Republican attorney, and just got behind him speaks volumes. I mean, it's just one of the weirdest marriages in politics I've seen in 37 years of politics by far.
All right, let's switch gears a little quick to Mayor President. Monique Blanco and Josh Guillory headed to a runoff.
That's going to be a big race.
What was the percentage? Because we left there, we made a pass, and we left. Josh was supposed to come out at 8:20. We left at 20, 30 minutes after I hung up with you guys, and he still hadn't come out yet. And what was the final percentage? Was she on top or
no, Josh managed to get on top. It was 40%, 22,731, and Monique had 19,507, 34%, and Jan had 14,777 and 26%.
So Josh was 40 what?
40%.
And Monique was 26.
He had 22,731.
Wow. Yeah, so it'll be a tough road to hold.
Well, and see, that's what I was about to say. This is where that governor's race, Jeff Landry winning, plays a factor, just not in that race, but also in our mayor president's race, our parish president's race, because you don't have that governor, you don't have that excitement to go vote for Jeff Landry or any governor candidate no more. So we were talking about the numbers earlier, Kelby. It's like a 40% turnout for the whole state of Louisiana. That's probably gonna drop to 20 to 15% if we're lucky. So I want to see who's gonna get their voters out and who's gonna keep this excitement up in both them parish presidents races.
Kelby and I predicted, well, I don't know who was right or wrong, but I honestly predicted St. Martin Parish would be in the neighborhood of 52 to 55% combo 4 years ago, especially with a favorite son running of two open parish seats and several council seats opposed or open. It's mind-boggling. The people are so apathetic now, and the ones that do not vote are the first ones. Choose my friends to bitch and moan about the process.
No, I agree.
So Daniel Richard lost tonight. I don't know if that news got to you.
No.
Yep, he lost tonight. Chris Corville won 51-49, 804 to 765.
Wow.
There's a lot. That was a close race.
Clay, yeah. By the way, hold on, Isaac. Hold on. Ben Clay won 1,033. Blaine Frazier on 783. And if I'm being completely honest with you, the parish president's race is probably the most shocking of all.
That is.
With Pete Delcom at 5,900 and Dean LeBlanc at 5,200.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
that's another deal. When for instance, in my area, the council and the parish government took a hard rap, lack of a better terminology. Late, I've been up since about 4 o'clock this morning. But for the LA Highway 737 bridge, the bouncy bridge, I call it on my house, was blamed on the parish council and the parish president and parish government. That has absolutely nothing to do with either one.
Oh.
Shows you how much voters know and care about anything other than what have you done for me lately. You can do stuff for people 25 times. If it's 26 times, you can't do it because it's against the law. Your hands are tied. There's no means necessary to do it. Well, you know what? You're a no good SOB. The handshake doesn't mean anything anymore. Look at that. And it's not, you're doing a good job over the course of 4 years. Is what have you done for me lately? And yes, I'm saying that you can call me. I'm going to qualify in December. I'll hopefully be on a ballot in November for RPEC and possibly RSCC. Well, I stand by my words. It's honestly not true. That's the way politics is today. From the top on down to the bottom.
Well,
real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Nancy Landry and Gwen Collins Greenup will be in a runoff for Secretary of State.
Right. I was hoping my guy would come out and scream by the runoff. That was a matter of who'd be in second place with Gwen Collins Greenup. And Jeff went outright, absolutely crucifies Lindsay Cheek and Gwen Collins Greenup in the runoff.
Now, yeah. I got a question for both you guys. That attorney general race, the reason Liz got that many votes was because she was on the same ballot as Jeff Landry. Do you think she gets that same number going into that runoff since there is no governor's race. That governor's race
she's running
is
against a Democrat, so no, but she's running against a Democrat, so she's going to automatically. You basically could call her AG elect.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It just, do you think, because look, 460,000 votes, give or take, almost 461. Yeah, that's a big number for that type of race. But at the same time, do you? I don't. And look, they I don't think they called that race, right, for runoff or no?
Yeah, for her and
yeah. But that just it's gonna be interesting in November.
She'll get 46% or better in November. No, seriously, I'm looking at probably 60-40. On a great day, Democrat will have 40%. All the registered Democrats are, and the registered Republicans are in the state, and you pretty much maybe split independents. You're looking at probably 66, 67 layers, and the remainder to the Democrats leads the seat from all these parishes.
It's gonna be a very interesting in November, I'm gonna say. But Chad, thank you for coming on again, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
We'll get you.
And
we'll get you
remember, like former House Speaker under Ronald Reagan, they were always at odds, but at the end of the day, they got along. They direct cars together. That's what's back in the day. But always remember, all politics is local, and these parish races and parish council races, it proves that 1,000%. So, God, it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to November 18th, and the ballot won't be as lengthy. But remind everyone, the early voting starts November the 4th to the 11th, minus the 5th of Sunday. Get out there, honor a veteran, do a veteran justice, exercise the right to vote. And if you don't vote, don't call me for help.
Chad, you have a good one, my brother. You sleep in tomorrow morning. You have a good one.
Yes, sir. God bless you. Thank you.
Bye, Chad.
So, Kelby, our first time doing
this was interesting. I never did election night coverage before.
And look, it was a little bit more interesting for me as well, because last year I tried doing this by myself, and I had some guests like we did, but it's hard to hold an election show without a host. And I hope we could do this again. Hey, I like this team up on election night.
Well, hopefully I can get a call from Channel 10 and
hey, they might need some people, man. Who knows?
Hopefully I get a call from Channel 10 and say, hey, we saw you on the website, on the internet, and we think you would be a good analysis, because I've got a lot of opinions to give. So
look, I don't pay much. I'll give you 2 cents every so often, but hey, at least it was.
You didn't even give me a discount on advertisements. I mean, like, I spent 3 hours here, 4 hours.
You can't lie, though. You had fun.
I wouldn't say that, but
Jeff won. I forgot. Nah. No, Kelby, I had a good time, man. And thank you for coming on, man.
Schroeder says, I want to thank all of our supporters, our volunteers, and my family. This campaign has been our focus, moving Louisiana forward. I want to congratulate the Attorney General and wish him and his team the best. Jeff Lander says, thankful beyond belief. I'm ready to get to work for Louisiana.
Have we had any statements from Stephen Wagasback or anyone else? Or I don't know if Wags has a Twitter page.
This is some interesting. I love Mitch Ravelli. He does so good. Governor-elect Landry joins Huey Long, Buddy Romer, and Bobby Jindal as Louisiana's only chief executives to win their initial election to the governor's mansion without going to a runoff. However, it's worth noting that both the Kingfish and Romer won because of their outright with the voters. Wait, hold on. Because their opponents dropped out, Landry and Jindal are the only ones to win outright, which she did. There's no question about it.
It is a historical night. It is a historical night right there. Look, this is rare that a governor wins outright.
No, I just gave you four examples of when they didn't.
Yeah, but they dropped out. Some of the opponents dropped out. But anyway, Kelby, 3 hours and 48 minutes into this thing, man. I enjoyed it. Next November, bro. What about that, man?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it'd be as long. We should, because I think 2 or 3 state races that have went there. But look, for our parish and our district, 46 got a good rep in Chad Boyer. You have state senate elect now, Blake Miguez, gonna do some great things for our district. We have a Republican governor. We can go to bed tonight knowing we have a Republican governor, and we're not the only blue stain in the deep red South. You know, we're gonna have our tourism is gonna still be up. So we have, we have some good things. I'm looking forward to the parish president race in Lafayette Parish and in St. Martin Parish.
Who'd you vote for, parish president?
I went ahead and got I went with Pete. I like Pete. But that was one of those races that I was undecided until I got to the poll.
Well, what made you decide to go against your current council?
Well, so I like Dean. Dean was a good guy, and I, talked to him when he first mentioned Pete wasn't in there. I was like, Dean, you're gonna be the guy. But when Pete got there, I started hearing people talk about, him being the leader of certain departments, and like he was not the only one audited. That really was like, wow, that's an accomplishment, and what he has done with the school board and with the RPEC. I started to talk to him, and like I said, both guys, I'm real good friends with both of them.
What did he do with RPEC? I'm curious.
Well, no, at the RPEC when I was setting up, he came talk, and me and him had a good conversation.
Oh, I'm about to say,
yeah,
no, I like Pete. It's interesting. It'll be interesting. I think Josh will pull it out by this now. Donors, I mean, because that's what Monique's problem was. The donors weren't giving the money. Let me tell you, now she's about to get a lot of money.
Oh yeah, she's gonna, and because it's gonna be the people that don't like Josh, and that Jane Swift. It depends who she endorses. I would be surprised, like you said, if she comes out and supports Josh Guillory. She's probably gonna go ahead and stick with Monique. So we're gonna have to see how it goes. But those are the two races I'm going to watch. Attorney General's race is going to be very interesting. Unfortunately, Marty didn't make it, and I haven't got in touch with Marty yet. Probably going to text him Monday and just tell him, hey, congratulations on the run, man. You did what you thought you needed to do, and we're going to have to see what happens, man. I think we see Marty later on, though. I do think we see Marty later on. John Stefanski ain't done. He's gonna go ahead and take this break, and I think he's gonna come back. Secretary of State. I'm right off the jump. I'm voting for Nancy Landry. I think she's gonna be a good fit in that position.
Yeah, no, I agree. Not much to disagree with you on that. I mean, again, congratulations to Jeff, the new governor. Governor from St. Martinville.
That's scary in itself. Ooh,
hey, not me.
I know. I'm making a joke, but hey, at least at the same time, we have a parish. We have a man from our parish that's going to be the governor. That's pretty neat as well.
Could have had one 8 years ago, but y'all were playing.
True that too with Scott on jail. Kelby, have a good night, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. And joining us tonight, and hopefully you'll join us on election night as well. We hope. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Me neither. It's okay.
Maybe we'll get it fancier next time. Once we hit the big screen, and I'm just noticing there was something on my lip.
I didn't even notice it. So you're all good.
My studio lights are showing everything.
I'm sweating right now. That AC turned off a while ago, and I had some coffee in my mug. So I've been drinking the same coffee for about 3 hours. I put 6 cups in this sucker, dude.
Oh, I've been drinking Life water.
Dude, it's funny. You pull it up to the back screen, you can't even see.
Life water.
Life water. It's so invisible. All right,
I'm ready to get drunk.
I'm Isaac Hayes, the Cajun Conservative. Please go check out the podcast. Also, go check out our social media accounts at the bottom of your screen. Kelby's also his social media accounts are on there. Kelby Daigle, Isaac Hayes. Thank you guys. We appreciate y'all. And remember to vote for the November 18th election. You have a good one.